Today's video is brought to you by Assiniboia Downs Gaming and Event Center. And be sure to tune into this channel live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern for Monday Night Lights, hosted by Trust the Profits.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the live edition of your Monday Night Lights at Assiniboia Downs here on Trust the Profits. My name is Colin Sheehan. We have plenty of guests joining us throughout the night because tonight is the biggest night up at Assiniboia Downs. That's right, it is Manitoba Derby night, the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, something that they are trying out for new this year, which is so exciting. I know that the folks up there are extremely excited, and I know all of us here on Trust the Profits are extremely excited. And what we do is we come on here at 8 o'clock because you have to check out the Stable Duel Manitoba Derby Challenge tonight. Okay, let me hear. You got to check this out. It's a $5,000 guaranteed pot. Last I checked, there was about 93 entries into it. It'll cost you $35. Paying out through positions 26, 27, but that changes as more people enter. So if you haven't entered yet, I encourage you all to jump in, check out the Stable Duel app. You can download that in the App Store and put in your information. And you got about 25 minutes to get that first stable in. And if you are already in, please join in the chat and let us know not only your Stable Duel names, but also who you like tonight, because that is going to be an important question for you putting together your stables. You have some pretty big favorites that you need to decide if you're going to spend the money on, such as Burrow Down. That's a horse who I think has a big shot tonight. And then in the Manitoba Derby, you have a horse like Heroic, Move, and B Minor, the two horses that are coming in for Robertino Diodoro, who's won 4 of these Manitoba Derbies, including last year. You have to be respectful for a trainer like him when he ships up to Assiniboia Downs on these big days. He actually has a horse in the undercard as well, which we're going to get to as we start to go through. So if you are in, please let us know your names. In Stable Duel, please let us know who you like. Travis, welcome to the show. We're all looking to make some money tonight. Shout out to Alombre. It is definitely a big night up at Assiniboia Downs. And hi, Bobby. Thanks so much for checking in. Let us know who you like tonight on the biggest night up at Assiniboia Downs. And I had mentioned it earlier that this is going to be their first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. If a horse is able to pull off all 3 of these races, there's going to be an extra $100,000 bonus. And speaking of $100,000, don't forget that the pick 4 tonight, the late pick 4, is a guaranteed $100,000 pool. The pick 5 tonight is about a $600,000 carryover, and you can get into that for only 20 cents. You can also go to the AS Downs player portal, where they will give you a plethora of free information. My Capping the Card is on there, which I give you a top pick and a value play, but you're here live, so no need to go click over on that. But if you saw it earlier, you have a sense of where I'm going tonight. They have charting horse values charts for free if that's something that you've used before. And if not, you can ask them questions. I have some information a little bit on how to use it. We're going to get Jeff on one of these shows when we switch over to Tuesdays when Monday Night Football starts up. And they also have the Horse Racing Nation's top picks and power plays. So you can go on there and get that information for free directly on the AS Downs player portal. They do it right. 14% win takeout. Huge pick 5, huge pick 4, Manitoba Derby, Stable Duel Challenge. What more could you ask for in the middle of the summer on a Monday night, especially coming off of one of the most extremely difficult weeks I've ever been a part of in horse racing? And I was there this weekend at Saratoga, and I think when you're there in person, it only adds to the feelings that I have. And I'm going to try, both because it's only Monday and I think the emotion is still very raw, and also because I don't want to take away from the intention up at Assiniboia Downs tonight. So we are going to focus directly on Assiniboia Downs, and I'm glad to welcome in at least my first guest. What's up, Sean? How are you? How's happening, my man?
Hey, buddy. Great to see you this weekend, by the way. That was one of the pauses, was seeing Colin Sheehan at Saratoga. That
That's
was definitely one of the definitely one of the positives. But I'm doing great. Hope everyone's doing great on a big night at Assiniboia Downs. I'm excited. It's a great night ahead.
I've set the stage and I've done a good intro, and we have guests coming on that are going to do a lot more pumping up the Stable Duel big challenge tonight. So, Sean, you are in it. Did you win yourself in, or did you pay the $35 to get in tonight?
Okay, I'm doing both. I'm doing both. I am doing the 30. I am doing the Bremont Daily Double just for my friend. I am doing the one game, and then I won 3 weeks ago. I won first, so I gained entry into the other one, and I'm excited to give it my best shot.
Well, we know you. I know you're in the game, and I know Matt DeSantis has won his name in as well. I know Riders Up is in, so I don't want to scare people away. I saw Uncle Sully doing really well in Stable Duel recently. You're going against some big heavy hitters tonight.
Yes.
But who better to build up your confidence and give you a shot in the arm than the wonderful Bree Mott from Stable Duel? Bree, what's happening? Welcome.
Just what the doctor ordered.
I can build confidence, but I cannot produce winners in Stable Duel. I'm just here to get your all's mind right to pick the winners that I know you can pick. So yeah.
It's the biggest night of the summer, really, for Assiniboia Downs, and I think it's a extremely big night for Stable Duel too. So Bree, how many people? Because I know you had the last couple of weeks of Monday nights, the top 5 finishers. Basically got a free entry into tonight's contest. And when I looked, I think it was about 27 people.
27. Yeah. 27 stables. Because if you won more than one entry, it's still you got one chance to be a winner take all tonight. So 27 total stables are going to go head to head for that $1,000 winner take all. So that's pretty exciting. Sean's in there. You guys were just spitting out some other ones. I'm excited to see because the stakes are obviously a bit higher when you have one chance to win one prize. So we're going to see how that shakes out. But
no pressure.
Either way, the $35 contest has $5,000. So you can win $1,000 in that one and $35 to play. You have 3 entries you can put in there. And I know a lot of people, there are going to be some people that do all 3, which is great. If you just want to do one, that's fine too. You'll see the leaderboard really exciting tonight. So I'm pumped.
Now, will I be able to see the leaderboard of the private game, or is that only the people that'll be in it?
So that is only the people, but we will be sharing it on Twitter and social media. What makes it private is literally only the people can see it that are in it. And so that's how other people can enter. But yeah, we'll be sharing it a lot, and I'm sure Sean will share.
Yeah, Colin, if I'm doing well, I'll report it. If not, my phone's broke.
Yeah. No, we need the live update from you, Sean. So you got
either way, we will update no matter what. If I'm 27th and last, I will still update.
You got the secret key into the room. I did not. So we will rely on you to provide us those updates throughout the night. Absolutely. I can see the $35 game, so I'll provide the updates for that as well. Bree, you'd be happy to know that we know from being here on Monday nights that we've seen some new players in the chat, including Uncle Sully, who not only have come in as new players, but they've won on Monday night. So this has been a lucky place to be. I think we've had a few weeks where we've had 3, 4, 5 people in the top 10, top 15. Keith is going to be joining us tonight as well, a big, heavy Stable Duel player. But you should know, Bree, that there's some beginner's luck in this chat room, and I hope there's more out there diving in tonight.
Yeah.
I think so. I think tonight is a good night for beginner's luck, and especially if they've gotten in there and gotten the idea of the strategies and the horses. Tonight could be a big night for Trust the Profits chat. So I will be tuning in. I have to hop off though because I want to put a pick 5 together, and I socialize and handicap. That I've learned that the hard way. So
Mr. Chow is waiting.
I'll be back in.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got Chow.
You're more than happy to do that, Bree. But before you go, you need to let us know because I saw Stable Duel tweeted out some giveaways. What was that all about?
Yeah. And we can do a giveaway here too. So we have plenty of the hats. I only have one of those shirts left. So if somebody from the Twitter giveaway wants the shirt, that can go there. But if you want to do 2 giveaways tonight here on the live stream, we can do a white and a black hat, however y'all want to do it.
Ooh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hopping off now. I got a little bit of time, but I've got to get off to get my pick 5. Big pools tonight at Assiniboia. You know, we got to chase after those prices.
Absolutely.
Yeah, $100,000 guaranteed in the pick 4.
Yeah.
So they've doubled that for us. And then the pick 5, as you mentioned, is an almost 600,000. I saw today it's their biggest carryover ever. So almost $600,000, expecting it for sure to get over $1 million. And you've got some heavy favorites you'll need to make some decisions on. And I guess that'll lead us into a good transition for Mr. Sean. Either from a stable duel standpoint or from the pick 5 standpoint, where did you go? Did you use any of those big favorites such as Burrow Down or Heroic Move?
I picked every 50 to 1. No. Only kidding. No, I did.
It will cost $0.
I did. I used Burrow Down, and I used the one in the feature, the
Heroic Move.
Captain Canada Diodoro coming in to sweep into his old country. You know, I just think the one is very, very tough and very live, and I just think he's going to be. These horses up there are fabulous, but these horses coming in, I think, are in a little bit of a different league. And I think if he gets a safe trip, it's going to be pretty tough, as well as this second rate. But there's a couple of horses, including I used Dura there, the Morandura there as a long shot to kind of see if he could ruffle some feathers there. I know they had originally brought him up from Oaklawn just for this race, so it's going to be a fun race. But I did use him, both the favorites in my stables for sure.
And they got an excellent field tonight compared to, I think, years in the past. You usually get 1 or 2 of those shippers in, but tonight is a legitimate field. And I want to say that because, as I mentioned earlier, this is the first leg of the Western Canadian Triple Crown. Yeah. Not only do you have the Manitoba Derby tonight, you have the $200,000 Canadian Derby on August 26th, and then the $125,000 British Columbia Derby in Vancouver. And if one of these horses can pull off all 3, that's $100,000 bonus on top of that. So I think that's really done a great job to attract some more talent than they would have normally gotten for tonight's big race. So I know that they are super pumped. If you go on their website, it's just you can feel the excitement through the videos that they have. And we're going to throw it up to Kurt in about 10 minutes. We have a report from him and some of the other people, a quick 5-minute report that they sent over that I would like to share with everyone. So we will do that. Bree, you said you haven't had a ton of time to handicap tonight. Do you have any picks for anybody?
I'll throw them out there on Twitter. It's like the Chad Brown moment where it's like, should you look at the other Chad Brown? So I'm wondering if that should be your Doro play tonight. So I'm kind of taking a look at that other one, but what I see, to Sean's point, it just is not jumping off the page the way that the one is for sure. But you know, we overthink these nights, especially when there's pick 5s and everything involved. Yep. So I've got to overthink a bit, but I'm going to throw some up on Twitter. I'm playing tonight. I'm live.
Yeah, and that's one thing to remember is on these big nights. And I did my capping the card, and I had to apologize after I got through race 5 because I kept giving some chalk. And I'm like, look, on these nights, these people come in with the heavy hitters. And you've got Theodoro also has the Great Escape, the number 5 in race number 4, which is the Manitoba Mile.
Yeah.
Who to me, who actually finished second in the Manitoba Derby last year, was a horse that just looked pretty strong tonight. I don't know, Sean, were you able to get around that 5 in the 4th?
Yeah, I have a long shot in that race to kind of, I thought Brock on By could be an interesting, maybe from a stable duel point, you know what I'm saying? Could be the horse that could maybe get up there on 2nd or 3rd and just kind of spoil the apple cart at a lower price, you know? So I think Theodore's horse is going to be very tough in there, but I just thought for the price and what you were looking for, he was a good value.
You get 5 pounds on Brock on By as well.
Yeah, which is nice. You know, exactly. Yeah.
And Tim was reading our minds, or maybe he put that in there before I said it. I swear, Tim, I didn't read it on air and act like it was my own. I just saw that. But he said exactly, don't overlook the fact that Great Escape is in race 4. He was in the Manitoba Derby finishing 2nd last year. Yeah. And our good friend El Hombre, Bree, wants to know how he can get one of those Stable Duel hoodies.
Well, stableduel.com/shop. We've got all the swag there. The Degenerate t-shirt has made it around Twitter over the weekend. So if anybody likes the Degenerate t-shirts, they're up there. I've got a couple to send out, and we'll send it out with any of the ASD gear that people win. So, but yeah, I mean, they're really comfy. I don't know if anybody else has it.
They look it.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. Yeah.
There's no way.
I dressed up for you guys tonight, so
Love it. Only the best from Bremont. Exactly.
Any sweatshirt that has those like thick strings to me just immediately screams that it's comfortable. That's like a giveaway. Uncle Sully's attending his national sales meeting tonight and watching the live stream. So we've been up in the bar in Alabama. We need to know, Uncle Sully, where are you? And can you get us up on the TV? Maybe as you're going through your PowerPoint, you accidentally click the stream over and they can get a nice little dose of the Trust the Profits on this wonderful Monday night. Hello to you, Tony.
Hey, Tony. How are you, bud?
Jeffrey's checking in. Hello, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And I saw our buddy
Chris
here who we met this weekend.
Yeah. That Ride the Wire. Hey, bud.
We met Alex this weekend. Good to see you.
Alex. Yeah. Yeah. Todd, Tim.
And here's the guy you really need to watch out for tonight is Keith. He's a strong player in stable. This is where the heavy hitters come. So, pay attention to the chat if you're a newbie. Pay attention to Keith and Tim, and obviously Sean and El Hombre. The only person we're missing at this little shindig is Mr. Matt DeSantis. So maybe we'll get a special visit from Matt tonight as well.
Oh, there you go.
He's out there bidding on $16 million horses.
He is.
That's right.
Last time I heard, he and Godolphin are in tuggle. So if he can get away from them, then exactly.
Raphael, that's a new name I think to the chat. So welcome, Raphael. Cindy is one of our constants. Cindy, what's the weather? We always get a weather report from Cindy as we're starting our show, so that's important to know.
Frank Payne in the house.
Great. So what else, Sean? Do you have any other big long shots that you want to provide to people that they should maybe take a shot at before as they're trying to maybe you get to that last position as you're putting your stable duel together and you've got to look at those $250, $500 horses? Did you have any of those tonight?
I did. I do think in the third race, Something Super is actually an interesting horse here for Carreno and Steve Keplin. Jr. I do like the fact that this horse was competitive in the allowance races, came back and ran a very decent, undervalued race in the claiming race, showed some real life. And the fact that his trainer decides to put him back into allowance and stretches him back out to where he ran his best race against Allowance Company, I think this would be a very interesting horse here and apparently 63% of the people so far agree with me. Exactly. So that was, but he looked very live, especially when you watch his last replay. So and the fact that the trainer has confidence to bring him back up,
Yeah, and that race kicks off your late pick 5, which is the guaranteed pool we talk about. I actually had interest in a long shot in there as well with Breeze, Chavy, and Chow with number 6 Adjournment at 25-1. That was going to be more of a stable duel play for me than I know about necessarily a pick 5 play, but this horse has been competitive. He gets the class relief, and I think he has the opportunity to sit off some of the speed because I saw quite a bit of speed up in this race. Let the others tire, come late, which is what he does best, and hopefully Adjournment at 25-1. Maybe that's one of those cheap horses as you're getting close to finishing up your stables that you might want to throw in.
It really, to me, tonight's game is going to be horses like the 6 Adjournment, because so many people, as Sean just said, are on which one are we just talking about? Something Super, the 3, because it costs $1,000 per player. They all see the same thing. The horse could hit the board for $1,000. But if you can find that one sneaky play that's going to get you just a little more points than everybody else on the 3, that's going to put you ahead of everybody else, which is cashing difference between $1,000 and $750 or $1,000 and $400. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight with some of these ones like 60 Adjournment when so many people are on Something Super. And there's another horse that so many people are on, and is it the first or the second race? It's the first race, the number 1, Anna Kazana, $750. You'll see in the app so many players have chosen that horse for $750, and which is fine, but just realize that you've got to select something different, hopefully that outperforms the one to really put yourself on the leaderboard ahead of those so many people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in that first race, I looked at, and that interesting why the one is low, in my opinion, is I looked at the two for about 5 minutes and said, why is this horse 6-5? Like in terms of like, I like the 3 better than the 2 is better at the distance. And I said, this horse is overrated the distance. Why is he 6? And I think a lot of people looked at that and said, ooh, interesting. So that was one of my question marks, in the to begin. And I think that's where the one is getting a lot of play too,
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree. That's actually where my top play and value play was the one was my value play, and the 3 was my top pick. The best race at a mile was Anacozana. And I said the same thing you did. I said, I don't know about 6-5 on the 2 Lona Arranger. And I think that might have been, you see the allowance on the paper, but just because they're in an allowance race doesn't mean that they necessarily belong there. So I don't know if that was maybe why the 6-5 favoritism went towards that, but I was all about that 3 Ragged Right as well as we look at race 1. We need to be careful though here, Sean, because you're taking some heat with Tim, who's saying that you're giving out his picks and he's trying to win this thing.
He and I think dangerously alike. He knows that. So exactly. So we think on the same wavelength. So for him to think that is not a surprise at all.
And from a fellow host who gets it, he said, I've locked in my picks before the show, so I can only blame myself from El Hombre, which is good stuff. All right, we're going to throw it up. I'm going to add it up because we got a video here from Assiniboia Downs. It's a quick little hitter from Kurt, who's going to give you his thoughts on the big race tonight up at Assiniboia Downs.
It's the 75th running on the Manitoba Derby. I'm Kurt Cohen. We're joined by Dylan Beardy and Gentry Van Ball of Central Mile in Edmonton and the race book in Vancouver.
The $125,000 Manitoba Derby features a full field of 10 going a mile and 8.
First leg of the brand new Western Canadian Triple Crown.
And it includes contenders from all across North America to compete in the biggest race of the year at Assiniboia Downs.
My top pick in the Derby is Heroic Move, the one horse sent out by Robertino Diodoro, who has won this race 4 previous times. Heroic Move ran such a big race at Churchill Downs in an allowance event where the horse actually had the lead late down the lane and was caught by 2 ralliers in the most recent start at Prairie Meadows in the Iowa Derby. This horse ran absolutely lights out and was in trouble around the turn. He wasn't able to get the horse going as he was hemmed in with the horse in front of him and one on the outside. Come the lane, he was able to get out, but just wasn't able to get there, losing by a half a length in the end. That was such a great move. So I'm going to take him on top, and I'm going to bet a big exactor bet to the 3-horse She-Boy. So I'm taking 1-3 in the Manitoba Derby.
Lots of Alberta Brent connections here for the full field of 10 for the Manitoba Derby. Going to go with the 3 She-Boy for one of Century Miles leading trainers, Craig Smith, with jockey Alex Marty aboard, 6-1 on the morning line, coming off a very impressive maiden breaking win at Ellis Park last time out by 7 lengths.
I do like She-Boy as well. I think we'll see him on the front end of things, joined by Heroic Move, who is the Diodoro trainee with Rico Walcott up, one of our Alberta leading jockeys in previous years. But I'm opting for the 5 in here, the other Robertino Diodoro horse, B Minor, with Jorge Carreño up. I do like this horse's off-the-pace running style and does have 2 Assiniboia Downs works so far, as opposed to some of the other shippers who are just coming in a little bit fresh. She-Boy has had 2 works over the track as well, which I think is going to be an advantage for these horses.
My wager for the Manitoba Derby will be a $20 win place on number 3, She-Boy.
My wager for the Manitoba Derby will be a $10 exacta with 5, with 1, 3, and 10. Heading over now to Bailey Williams in BC.
Thank you, Gentry. Local owners Willow Creek Farm send out number 4, Neighbor, as a hopeful for the Manitoba Derby. As well, I have a little bit of a family tie with number 6, Rough Customer, as he goes out for trainer Rod Hagee, who happens to be my dad. So I will be cheering for both those connections. However, I'll be heading to the rail horse, number 1, Heroic Move. He ran a very game third in the Iowa Derby. The added distance of 1 1/8 just might be what this horse is looking for to close late. Although it is an unfortunate post position, the team of Robertino Diodoro and Rico Walcott are definitely a combination you don't want to leave out in any Derby wager. I will be placing a $20 place wager on number 1, Heroic Move. Back to you, Kurt.
And remember, first post time on Monday is 7:30 p.m. with the Manitoba Derby going at approximately 10:05 p.m. Central. And be sure to join us for our pregame show, ASD Live, at 6:45 Central Time.
And don't forget, there's a $100,000 guaranteed pick 4 and the jackpot pick 5, which is currently sitting at $597,000 and change. It will be climbing come Monday because it is a mandatory payout.
Good luck with all of your wagers on the Manitoba Derby on Monday.
Don't forget, the 94th running of the Canadian Derby is coming up on Saturday, August 26th here at Century Mile in Edmonton.
And now over to you, Stretch. Stretch.
They're such goobers. I love them so much.
They do a great job, and they make it a lot of fun, and we love listening to them. We will have the races live here for you as well, so please stay by. We got my little visitor here, too, who's supposed to be in bed driving us nuts, too. So with that, Bree, any last words for starting out the stable duel?
I say good luck to everybody. It's going to be so exciting to watch the winner take all go down. And again, I'll share on my Twitter, on Stable Duel's Twitter. Sean's going to be sharing because I'm sure he'll be top at the leaderboard. But everybody in the $5,000 game as well. Tonight's a big night, so I'm excited to watch. I'll be in the chat. I'll be playing. I'm about to move my computer into bed with my PPs and putting my pick 5 together. That is where I'm set up for the rest of the night. So I will be there.
Fantastic.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Shout out again. You got about 2 minutes to jump into that stable duel. If you haven't now, don't forget tomorrow night is free. Thank you, Bree, and have a great rest of the night. Hopefully,
Thanks,
we'll provide
Bree.
you some winners.
Good night, guys. Good luck.
And don't forget as well, we will give away 2 of those hats that Bree had talked about. So, Sean, we'll come up with some way to play a game tonight where we can give away some stable duel. Actually, I'm sorry, it's Assiniboia Downs swag. So, you get a hat like myself.
Even better.
All right, we're getting close to race 1, Sean. So why don't we give the fans a little bit of a breakdown while I start to get ready to the stream?
Sure, absolutely. Yep. So race 1 for everybody. Yeah, exactly. We got Anna Kazana on the inside for Jerry Garneau with my boy Antonio Whitehall, and he should be getting a lot of play. I think this horse will definitely like the mile. I think it'll definitely be to his liking. The 2 is the Lana Ranger, Wendy Anderson and Noel Stephenson. This is an interesting horse, obviously faced much, much better, but he has over-8 the distance. So it'll be interesting to see if he can step it up and see what he can do. The 3 rigged right is Carl Anderson and Carreno. And I think this horse is 3 for 3 in the money in the distance. I think this is definitely a race, and it was making a solid rally last time at 5 furlongs. And I don't think the mile is going to be a problem for him at all. We have the 4 Sugar Daddy Jack, Shelley Brown, and Ronaldo Cumberbatch. This horse is trying the distance for the first time, but picks him up Stephenson from Cumberbatch from Sven Ballroop, and he's trying this distance, so that should be interesting. The crowd has him at 12-1. The 5 Big Jim, Marvin Buffalo, Sven Ballroop. He gets off the 4 and goes to his main man, Marvin Buffalo, who's 9 for 21, and trying this distance. A solid win at 7 furlongs. He could definitely be a factor here. And the 6 Super Dioro, Jerry Garneau and Bell, faced much better last time, got killed, but back down to where they're used to running. So this should be an interesting field.
Yeah, and I was right with you with the 3 on top. The number 6 has only raced 1 time so far in 2023. So that was a little bit scared away from me, especially when you lose by 42 lengths. The 4 just ran last week. And for those of you that know, the Sugar Daddy Jack was one of my first horses for my sleepy time pick that came through and won at 6-1 back on July 3rd. So he is a Trust the Profits name that we'll always remember. But I think that rigged right here came up to Assiniboia Downs, and we were kind of worried about that first-time starters running on Assiniboia Downs coming in from other tracks that aren't named Oaklawn or from the ones that we're used to in the States, right, Sean? And this one came in and run a solid second place, and in third there was Living Sky, who we know has been successful winning last time out. So that was the one that kind of jumped out to me. And we had talked about with Bree the odds, and I'll pull up the live stream here for you, Sean, because you will see that the public is more in line with what we are, which was putting the 3 at 6-5 as opposed to the 2 at 6-5. And that feels a little bit than I think maybe you felt.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think they've kind of got it pegged there. The 3, Kurt likes the 6 there at a price, and I wouldn't throw anyone if people like that. Definitely wouldn't throw that out for people. But I think they Stretch has kind of got it, and Kurt there that the 3 inside horses are showing that for sure.
Yeah, so I would go for me. I'm pretty chalky. 3 at 5-2 was better. At 6-5, maybe at these odds now you take a little bit more of an interest in the 2. I was between the 1 and the 3, so I'd probably go with the 1 at 5-2 and put the 3 in second for my exacta box, as opposed to going 3-1. That's just a value play. I'm actually going to pass on this race from a betting personally standpoint. I think I have my eye on the late pick 5, but I'll talk a little bit later about why I'm a little worried about that one as well. So as they get ready to approach the gate, let us all know in the chat who you like. El Hombre is going 1, 2, 3 exacta box. Tim Hughes.
Go get him, El Hombre.
Tim, we need to hear who your stable duel is. We have Alex. A new name in here. I'm not familiar with this one. So welcome to our show. Based. He has an Assiniboia Downs $5 pick 3. He's going 1-6 in the first leg, 1-4-5, and then the 2 in the third leg. And that 2 Gallant Oak, I think, is a solid single. And he's skipping Burrow Down in race 2. So that's an interesting decision there. Best of luck to you, Based.
Yeah.
Cindy's coming in and going with a 5 over the 1-3 for an exacta.
They're reaching the gate.
As they approach the gate, we are going to bring you the live stream and feed of this race. We'll bring up the audio for you. Good luck to everybody. Good luck in your stable duels. And as we get closer to the pick 5 and pick 4, we will try to put together a ticket for you. I know Keith is going to be joining us in race 3. I reached out to Gino. I reached out to Carson. You just never know who might appear. And it's a little bit of a surprise for me and Sean as well. So we'll all enjoy the night together. A wonderful night out in Western Canada for the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. And hopefully my internet behaves for us all. Of course. Right
on cue. Yeah.
Right on cue. And I apologize. My internet's been struggling. So I don't know if you could pull it up on your phone, Sean. Well, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
And I'll give it over, and we'll pay attention to them.
You're left to load. Big Jim. And just waiting on Super Doro to the outside. The field is set. They're at the post. Anna Kazana fractures in the starting gate.
Whoa.
Antonio Whitehall did dismount, but he is climbing back aboard. They're set once again. They're at the post, and they're off. From the inside, the Lona Ranger showing some early speed, but so is Rigged Right in between horses. 3 wide, Sugar Daddy Jack, and then a trio in behind. Anna Calzana on the rail in between horses Big Jim and Super Doro is now the early trailer. They do the opening quarter in 23-4, very reserved as the Lona Ranger has a lead by a half a length. Rigged Right starting to put some pressure on the outside in second. Anna Calzana, she settled back 3 off the lead, and Big Jim and Sugar Daddy Jack and Super Doro can still see them all. The second half mile, 48-2. And the two of them, the Lona Ranger and Rigged Right. These two look at each other in the eye. A gap now 5 lengths back to Anna Calzana. 3 more to Sugar Daddy Jack. And the trailers, Big Jim and Super Doro. 3/4, 113-4. And Rigged Right now takes over as they hit the head of the lane and opens up by 2. The Lona Ranger trying to fight back from second. Anna Calzana has third all wrapped up, but Rigged Right inside the 16th pole is going to win by 2.5. The Lona Ranger second best. Third's going to go to Anna Calzana, and fourth, the Sugar Daddy Jack.
Yep.
So there you have it. We were right on with that one, Sean. Rigged Right, and that would have been, if in these first 2 legs, I thought in building your stable duels, when you have 6 and 5 horse races, it's important. Maybe you don't take the big money because you can get points on a horse that you're going to pay a little bit less on. And I think the proper play probably would have been to go with the 1 or the 3 in there. And you got the 3 at least 5-2 from a stable duel money, but now you get 7-5 and goes off as the favorite. So no surprise to us, a little bit surprised based on the morning line, but it goes pretty well.
Yeah. Yep. And I thought the 2 ran actually pretty good for, I know he's second, but I didn't think he would be able to put away the 3, but I wondered if he was even going to be around at the end, and he stood his ground for second, so I was impressed by him.
I'm going to stop the stream as it messes up my internet a little bit. Once we get the prices, we will bring that back up for you. But they finished 3-2-1-4 in the first leg on the big night here up at Assiniboia Downs. The 1 and the 3 to me were the 2 consistent horses that have been racing in 2023. Again, we talked about that too, who was dropping down from the allowance level. And maybe, second time off the layoff here up at Assiniboia Downs. So 3-2-1 in the first.
Yep.
How did you make out in your stable duel plays there, Sean?
I had 3 and 1, just like you. So I was first and third, and liking the way the night started so far.
Absolutely. And we had we got Vinny checking in here.
Hey, Vinny.
Who we saw up at Saratoga this weekend. Yes. What's up, Vinny? And that is the Great Kurt. And if you haven't watched Assiniboia Downs, that is part of the treat on our Monday nights, is listening to not only the enthusiasm, the names he comes up with, and the passion. And we will bring up for you, before they go off, they have those little video game sounds and music. And it's a great product. And that's why if you're new to joining Assiniboia Downs on a Monday, it's great. And Dennis Trusty checking in as well. So how did anybody do? Frank Payne says it was actually great value on the 3.
Yeah, I agree. 5-2, I thought that was tremendous value.
If you had a strong opinion there on the 3, it was great value, which we both sort of did as well. We'll turn our attentions to race number 2. I will keep an eye out for the payouts when the stream comes up. Would you go in? Actually, we have them now. So here, I'll bring them up for you, and then we'll get into race 2.
Yep, sure.
And 3 on top, Rigged Right, pays $4.90 on top. Your 3-2 exacta pays 515. They have the 20-cent try up at Assiniboia Downs. If you go 3-2-1, $1.80. $1 try pays $9. Anakozana to show 210. 3-2-1-4 superfecta for $1 pays out 19.20. So 5-1 on your 3-2 exacta. We've talked about how much better that is than what you might get in a sports bet.
Yeah.
Especially if you had the 2 in there. And as El Hombre says, not to mention Assiniboia Downs supports us, and we are a proud partner of Assiniboia Downs. So don't forget their huge pools tonight. We'll talk about that as we get closer. The pick 5 kicks off in race 3. Race 2, Sean, is a field of 5, and I said on my capping the card, you got some bigger fields tonight up at Assiniboia Downs. At least maybe, they get 10. We've had some nights with 10-horse fields, but tonight they felt a little bit bigger. And race 2, you got only have 5 horses. So what was your approach in stable duel? I feel like you got to use a horse in there and maybe use 2 if you're going to use a long shot, because you're going to at least guarantee yourself some points with only 5 horses.
Yes. And by the way, hello to Charles K., my friend. Good luck to you. So in the second race, obviously the race goes through Burrow Down. 5 starts at Assiniboia Downs, 5 wins. At the distance, 6 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds. This horse clearly loves the distance, clearly loves. He and Mr. JD are clearly on the same page so far. He's ridden him. Anytime this jockey has ridden him, he has won. So obviously these 2 are, he's got the key to the, as Sarge always says in TVG, he's got the key to the engine. So he's going to be very tough in here. For a price, I use 2 horses in stable. I use Mission Bell for Jerry Gurneau and Stevenson. Very interesting. You look at this horse. 1 race was in the slop, came in 5th in a stakes race. Also came in 8th, not by much. However, when you look back at some of his Delta Downs form back in the day, granted they're both in the mud, 7.5, 6.5. Delta Downs is very similar to Assiniboia in terms of kind of a oval and all that stuff. I think the added distance out of Noble Mission, he will appreciate greatly. And I think he could be a value play to get maybe 3rd or 4th for stable duel at a price. So I went 2 and 4.
Yeah, I was similar. And it's important to note here that you're getting a 3rd time matchup with the 1, 2, and the 3, right? And so the 2 has basically put away the 1 and the 3 the last 2 times. You had 2 stakes races, both of them up at Assiniboia Downs. Those were part of the 5 for 5 for Burrow Down. And you got to ask yourself, well, what's going to change tonight that may turn the tables on Burrow Down? Now, the 4, Mission Bell, as you mentioned, also stepped into that last race. So didn't match up the last 2 times, but did race in the last time. So I went back and looked to ask myself, well, what's going to be different tonight? And I think the difference is, and I love to play this angle, is maybe the newcomer coming in, who is the 5, Miss Z, from bred by Calumet Farm, who I think is going to present more early speed in this race than those previous 2 races that the 1, 2, and 3 were involved in. And so you got to ask yourself a little bit of, if I was going to pick a long shot here, the 5, Miss Z, was where I went with my value play at 8-1 with Jorge Carreno, a jockey that Sean is not one to pass by.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So I like that jockey change coming off of Tarasenko. I like the layoff. I like the last 2 bullet workouts. Actually, last 3 workouts at Assiniboia Downs were all bullets. Some of those were mixed in between those races, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm hoping that the speed here for Miss Z is just going to create a little bit of a different dynamic for those horses on the inside. Now, my top pick was still Burrow Down. So I had Burrow Down on top with Miss Z as my long shot. So love to know. And Frank, there you go. The 6 may try to steal this race with his speed. I think that's exactly the tactic that you're going to want to use on the 5. I'm assuming he
Yeah.
meant the 5. Yeah, he did. He said, sorry, the 5.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I saw as well, was just go. Easy instructions for a jockey, right?
And then that's what actually makes my 4 a little bit appealing. I was actually looking at that, hoping that the 6 could maybe mix it up with the 1, 2, and 3. Kind of get them all going together, and then maybe if 1 or 2 of them just don't have it anymore, maybe the 4 picks them up for a piece. And loves to do his best running from behind. Maybe with the added distance, he gets as involved in the ball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the new dynamic that I saw. At least that's going to change it a little bit for the 1, 2, and the 3. Last time out, if you use Brisnet in the middle there, they give you a first call, second call with a plus or minus number, and it's to give you a general sense of how fast the race was. So negative number means that it was very slow through the first 2 calls. Positive number obviously means it was very fast, and the higher you go on the positive side, the faster the race was. I don't have, actually I can pull up Brisnet real quick, but if I remember off the top of my head, it was like a +4 and a -2. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, so the last race between those 3 horses, the first call was a -2, the second call was a -2, and 2 back, it was a +1 and a +4. So that's why I looked at that 6. I'm sorry, the 5. You got it in our head here, Frank, that it's a 6, but it's a 5. Who went 2 back was +3 and +9 at the second call. Now that was at 6 furlong, so obviously the distance now going a mile, that would be the question mark that you might have on the 5, who hasn't actually raced at this distance. Is the distance going to be a problem? The trainer is 50% on 2 races, 50% out of 4 races going from a sprint to a route. So Keplin's had some success with that angle. But that would be the one concern that I might have on the 5 is, sure, you can get out there fast, but can you hang on when you've got some stakes winners closing in on you?
Yeah, sure.
So let's go here. Tim is who always someone you want to listen to.
Absolutely. One of the very best.
This 2 is the lock of the night. The other favorites have more competition. I think the 2 is much the best here. So he's going 2 over the 3-5. The times are much slower than what the 2 has been closing into. So if you're going from a time standpoint, I tend to just kind of rely on that Brisnet number when you get into times and you're trying to figure out lengths behind and the time that the horses did. I try to use that Brisnet a little bit. So Tim's much more sophisticated than I am, and it's probably why he's so much better. 55 people listening, plenty of people watching on Facebook.
Yeah, love to have everybody in tonight. Thank you.
Please hit that like button if you haven't subscribed to our channel.
Like it. Yes.
Easy way to support us without giving us a dime. That does so much for giving us attention. So we ask you to slam that like button or the thumbs down. You don't have to like us. Either or do well for us. It's all about the engagement. It's all about the chats. It's all about the texts. And we love hearing who you all have. And this is one of our favorite nights. It's my favorite night of the week for sure.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yep.
And we're going to give away, as we mentioned, some Assiniboia Downs swag tonight. So, Sean, what should we do for the Assiniboia Downs giveaway? Do you have
like a race? Exactly.
I think you have some really competitive ones after this one that you could pick.
We do. Yes, we do. And I think, exactly. Yes, we do. I think there's some races coming up. Obviously, we'll avoid the 4th because I think that could be I think
race 5 for me was the hardest one tonight.
Yes, by far. Yep. It'd
be like race 1 at the Spa on Sunday when I sat down with Jessica and my friend Matt, and we came up with 3 horses, and then you came over and added 2, and then Vinny and SJP came over and they added 2, and I said, you know what, I'm out of this because we just named all 10 horses that we like. I could see a similar scenario here in race 5. So I think that's the race 5 will be our giveaway, and when we get closer to that, maybe we'll just ask for a winner, and if you give the winner, then we'll put you into a raffle.
Give away 2 hats, maybe.
Give away 2 hats.
Yeah. There you go. Love it.
So we are 11 minutes to post, and your 2 is your 1 to 5 favorite. So as expected, and as Tim said, probably the lock of the night at 1 to 5.
Yep.
Jimmy Johnson already has his pick 5 in. Jimmy, let us know who you like. The pick 5 starts in race 3, of course, which we will get to next. Although we always find that when we start to do those, we always need more time. You got a field of 8, a field of 7, a field of 8, a field of 10, and a field of 10. But as we've mentioned, you probably have some favorites that you make single in there. And if you're like Trusty, who I saw put out on Twitter today, go check out his Twitter, because he went with some prices in many of those legs. So if you're looking for someone else's opinions, he had a great write-up on his page. And I think Trusty would like to join in and give us his opinions. So should we let him in, Sean?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
We'll blame you if it goes sideways.
Yeah.
However, Trusty last week in race 6 gave out a 25 to 1 shot. So
he did, yes. And he can't. The only thing is, Trusty, you cannot give 8 other tracks tonight. This is only Assiniboia. This is not some track in Australia or England or somewhere else too. Exactly.
And Alombre is right. The only reason we bring on Trusty is because Trusty guarantees all his picks, and if he doesn't hit them,
for tonight's Assiniboia Derby, 40% back. If you do not like, exactly, just for tonight, just for the Derby, he just got back from his oil fields, checked them out, and he is giving back. Exactly. Yep. I'll keep him in mind, Hombre.
He gives back on losing tickets. He does what my friend talked about on the ride home yesterday, which is what we wish they bring back. Was remember a couple of years ago when TVG would do a bonus bet on the prep races for the Derby. So if you hit, and I think it was Always Dreaming's year, if you hit Always Dreaming in a prep race, they were giving you 1.5 times your bet on the Kentucky Derby. If you went back and bet him again, it was a little bonus. So that's what we call the Trusty rule. So put your bets in the chat, and if Dennis gives you a horse and you don't hit, then he will refund you not only your bet, but 40% on the dollar. So better than the stock market. You just come on here and trust in Trusty.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. See, so generous. Yep.
It's
on the Mount Rushmore of racing royalty. Yep.
That's right. So great to see Alombre in the chat. We know he's been feeling a bit under the weather, so glad to see you tonight, Alombre. We know you're going to be a force in the stable duel. So please let us know where you have gone in race 1, and then also who you have in race 2. And I'd love to know, Sean, can you get a sense of how many people used Burrow Down in the stable duel? What percentage of stables have Burrow Down?
Yep. Yes, I will let you know right now that 63% of stable duel used the 2 Burrow Down. I can actually look for you if you like the 1 here. 9% used Melisandre, and 63% used the 2. 24% used the 3 Big Stretch. 45% used Mission Bell, the 4, and the 5, or as someone would call it, the 6, was 25% on the 5. So obviously a lot of players looking at the fact that there are indeed only 5 horses in this race, and that if they see value, they used it. So
yep, and it sounds like a lot of them followed your lead, going 60 whatever percent and 45% with the 1-4. That's what you did. So you're certainly hoping this is a place where this is a situation where you don't want to. You're just trying to stay with everybody, right?
Yep, absolutely, yep.
Uncle Sully was one who used like the 3 Big Stretch. Frank Payne used the 3 Big Stretch. We are 7 minutes to race 2 up at Assiniboia Downs. It's Manitoba Derby night. That is race 7. It is the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, a new Triple Crown that they're starting up this year. So we're so happy to have you all with us. And we'll start talking. We'll start sprinkling in the big race. We should actually do that now because we're going to want to talk about the pick 5.
Sure.
So Sean, we talked about it. You've got Robertino Diodoro coming in with 2 horses here, Heroic Move and Be Minor. For
Yes.
those of you that don't remember, you can actually jump over to our page right now and go back and look at my Iowa Derby breakdown, because the stretch run of that race was like nothing you'd ever seen before, where we had 2 horses not only dead heat, but then you had a disqualification in that race, and you had Heroic Move coming and moving on the outside. And I thought that this was a big run from Heroic Move in that race.
Yes.
He took some of that disqualification with those horses coming out on him. And so although you see a 3rd place finish there on your past performances, don't let that race get by you. And Heroic Moves your even money favorite to start. We also talked about, you got Diodoro shipping in, who this is the angle he did last year. I believe he hit the exacta with his 2 horses that came in. He's won 4 of these. He brings in Walcott. Why don't you give us a little who's Walcott, Sean, because I know you follow Woodbine.
Yeah, no, and he's done a very great, very solid job so far at Woodbine. Anytime you see a Woodbine jockey shipping into some other Canadian track, you know he's not coming just for a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? And what Diodoro is so good is Walcott used to be for years a leading rider and the leading rider at Assiniboia. So he knows the track. Robertino, as we all know, is Captain Canada. He's from Canada. That's his country. And so he's bringing his horse up with a rider who knows the track and knows how to ride in big races. You know, and I think that's why you're seeing Walcott here. And for him to come over from Woodbine, I think that means serious business if you're looking at a handicapping angle.
Yeah, in 2-back, Heroic Move lost to Scotland, who I believe is going to be going up to the Travers, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And only losing by 2 1/4 lengths to a horse like that certainly shows what Heroic Move is capable of. And then you have the other Diodoro, and we'll just talk about those 2 for now before we come back to race 2.
Sure.
B Minor. And I think the interesting thing about B Minor is that not only did he also finish behind Scotland, he's got 2 workouts up at Assiniboia Downs. So they moved this horse up sooner for this spot here, and went 4 furlongs at 50 seconds, 5 furlongs, 103, which are kind of similar numbers that you see on those workouts. Has finished either 3rd or 4th against formidable opposition in all 4 of his races, including some optional company down in Arkansas and Kentucky. So the 2 Diodoros are certainly 2 that you want to respect. With B Minor being at 4-1, were you interested in B Minor at all?
I was interested. I obviously think he's a step above some of these, you know, like horses coming in. Did not like his price. He didn't like. I think he's an impressive horse, and interesting that he was. I don't know if it was a private sale from Kenny McPeak, you know, and they just brought this horse in just to win this race exactly, which is interesting because Kenny McPeak used to be his trainer. And lost to And the Winner Is, who is the Oscar Performance baby on the turf, has lost Echo again, has lost to some very good horses. So he didn't, and interesting that Diodoro thought to give him 2 workouts over the track. Obviously, he must think his one shipper is a better just shipper than the B Minor, because he wanted to get him up there for a couple of trips on the track. He does interest me, but I just thought at 7 furlongs, I mean at 7,000, especially for a stable dual thing, he just didn't blow me away like the one did. But I do think in terms of this group, he's definitely a must use if you're going exactas, trifectas, must use, because that's what Robert Dino does, is come in and win.
Word of caution I always present, at least in my thought and my logic, is in these races, and it reminds me of the race there out at Remington, the Springboard Mile, when you have these horses shipping in and you think they're going to come in and roll like Giant Game, and then you've got a horse like Wild Atlantic Stormy who's just been performing really well at that track, and they come out and they beat them. There's always that thing that's going through my mind of the homegrown talent who's been racing up here all summer, such as Chicago's Gray, such as Saxon Saga. And so we will dive into that in a little bit as we talk about the Manitoba Derby throughout the night tonight. El Hombre thinks that this 2 is being over bet currently 1-2 with 1 minute to post in race 2. And as we get to race 2, we'll welcome in, as we mentioned, our old friend, Trusty.
Hey.
How are you, Trusty?
On, guys?
Hey, Dennis, you'll be very happy to know that my good friend Norm Casse, the big Louisville Cardinal aficionado, just passed $9 million in earnings yesterday with his win up at Saratoga. So the Louisville Cardinal faithful will be very happy about that.
Yeah. That horse looks good too. The one that he won with yesterday. The Lucas horse and him, that was a pretty good race. But talking about Assiniboia Downs tonight, I'm a huge fan of Burrow Down. I think that horse is honestly one of my top 5 favorite horses to watch and train right now. And I'm super excited to be live on stream with you guys to see how she does again. I mean, it's hard to bet her, but you got to cheer for her at least.
Yeah,
she's one of the
I agree. Yeah.
The chat is concerned about the 2. Frank likes the $5 exacta 3-2. He likes the 3 also in a trifecta over the 2-5. In is in the house. What's up, in? Welcome.
Hey,
Tony thinks that maybe the 4 could be a danger here.
Yeah. That's why I'm with you. Yeah.
Here's Arthur, who says, are we betting or are we just blabbing? Well, I usually just blab because it's hard. It's hard being in this seat, Arthur. I encourage you to try paying attention to the chat and the bets and the TV and the streams, but that's what we're trying to do here. I'm not going to bet because Burrow Downs 2-5, and I think Burrow Downs a solid horse. So for me, I'm going to pass again, and we're going to focus on the pick 5 probably for me.
Yeah.
Are you betting, Trusty?
Yeah. Arthur, just for you, we're gonna box a 1, 4, 5, and how can you go against the 2? I mean, listen, I understand why you could. The odds are not there, like El Hombre said, it is over bet, but it's not a good race to bet. Yeah. So when there's not a good race to bet, we can pass.
No, we babble.
Yeah, we babble. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we don't pass like bro.
I just don't think it's a good race to bet. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, they're approaching the gate. 0 minutes to race.
Arthur, enlighten us with whatever you're gonna bet.
Yeah. We're just teasing you, Arthur. I hope we didn't. Nothing personal. Neither here. We're good friends of just joking around and teasing you.
Chris D'Souza.
I gotta remember when I don't see a name. When I don't recognize a name, I shouldn't go right at him. So welcome, Arthur, to the show. For me, it's a pass. Let us know if you're betting. That's Trusty who eggs us on. So here we go. You have in the top right corner the mandatory payout of the pick 5, which starts in the next race as a $597,000 carryover. It is the biggest carryover in Assiniboia Downs history. It's all that money from Trust the Profits fans betting last week on Assiniboia Downs. So we are rising the tide, baby. And here we go into race 2. We will hand it over to Kirk. Good luck to all of you in your stable duels, especially those of you that went with this 2 and the 4, which we understand why, because of the price when you're attacking a stable duel. Trusty, do you have a stable duel in? We lost Trusty. All right, we're going to throw it up.
I figure I'll leave that to Matthew to beat me and Sean to beat me in.
Makes sense. I feel the same way.
Yep.
Melisandre leads the older filly mares into the starting gate. Next up, the overwhelming 3-5 favorite. That's Burrow Down. Next up, Big Stretch. Just 2 left to load. Mission Bell. And just waiting on Miss Z to the outside. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off in the escape clause. From the inside, Melisandre. Away well, in between horses, Mission Bell up close early. From the far outside, Miss Z is now going to take over as they pass the grandstand for the first time. Back to second. That's Melisandre sitting chilly on the rail with Mission Bell to the outside. Burrow down.
Wow.
Settled in 4 lengths off the lead, and Big Stretch is going to be the early trailer. A quick opening quarter, 23-3, and Miss Z has a lead by 3.5. Melisandre on the rail in second, creeping up. Burrow down in between horses. Mission Bell now 3 wide, and Big Stretch is only 6 lengths off the lead. The half mile, a sizzler, 47-1. Miss Z digging in with that lead by a length. Burrow down in an all-out drive from second. Melisandre in between horses. 3/4, 112-2, and getting into the fray. Big Stretch on the far outside. Miss Z with the lead, but here comes Big Stretch. Big Stretch powers by, and it's going to be the upsetter, and it's going to draw off the win by 4. Big Stretch wins the escape clause. Second best, Miss Z. Third is going to go to Burrow down, and fourth, Melisandre.
At all.
Well, good job there by In. $200 to win on the 3. So superb. And we actually definitely talked about how we definitely saw that 5 going out and being the speed. And it did play out the way we kind of talked about, except for it was the 3 that closed and not the 4, Sean, who we maybe thought that might be able to take advantage.
Yeah, I don't know what the 4 was doing up on the lead. That was a very surprising tactic by his rider, and ultimately cost his horse dearly. I thought he'd be the one that was closing, not with Big Stretch, but a Big Stretch, a huge effort there. Miss Z to finish second, still at 9-1, huge effort there, and Burrow down, no excuse, no nothing, just 1-2. Did well to get back up for third, but just a very big disappointment there at 1-2.
Well done, El Hombre, who goes 3 all and gets the 2 out of that exacta. So you're going to have a nice little hit there with a 5-2 over 9-1. My man knows how to play those exactas, so certainly pay attention.
Yeah, and someone is very happy. Her boy Chow 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 is in the winner's circle again.
Well done, Bree. And Arthur, who asked us but then snuck in, I'll play the 3. So good job, Arthur.
Good job. Great job, Arthur. That's awesome. Yeah.
And we lost Trusty right in time because he came on to see Burrow down. And exactly. I don't think that's what he was hoping to see.
Yeah.
The chat's on fire. I'm trying to keep up. So that's why I am.
I can help you too if you need to, Zach. Yeah, but
they're coming through fast and hot. But I saw a birthday in the house, and I wanted to acknowledge that because our friend Malathat looking for $144.
Hey, happy birthday, Malathat!
And it's my birthday, and I need the magic of winning with Whiteabaro Saturday. So good payday. Happy birthday, Malathat, a huge supporter of our show.
Yes, happy birthday, my man. Many happy returns.
And Frank, who liked that 3 as well. Remember, he put in that $5 try, going 3 over the 2.5 over the 2.5. So
look at that. Great job, Frank.
We should just let the chat host the show, Sean, and stop our babbling.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So it's Big Stretch over Miss Z. Trusty, we need your thoughts there on Burrow Down.
I froze, and I guess she froze too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was not. She made her move in the backstretch around the far turn and then just stopped. I mean, I don't know. That was uncharacteristic for her, but it was a good run by Big Stretch, and Chow gets the win.
Yes, Bree is happy. Congrats to Alombre. They got a 38-1 exacta there. Your dollar try pays $84. Congrats to you, Frank.
Yeah.
Dollar superfecta $126. And if you hit the 3-3 double, $10.40.
Yeah, very nice.
Arthur agreeing with Frank, who believed that the 3 was looking for more ground and turns the table on Burrow. So great job there. El Hombre had 3 horses in one of Stable Dual Stables. That 4 is going to hurt, but I did have the top 2. And 65% of people. How many percent had that 3, Sean? If you don't mind double checking there.
Yeah. I can. Look that up right now. Yep. If you were smart enough to have the 3, and great job by you. You had. Let me see here. 24%. It's only 24%. So 76 did not. So that is a big move for you if you had the 3.
All right, we got to dive right into it because we know now how fast the time goes when we try to do not only the pick 4s, we got to do an extra race on this one. We talked a little bit about the big one in the Manitoba Derby, but for those of you joining in for the first time or for right now, we have a we'll just call it a $600,000 carryover for the jackpot pick 5. That is a mandatory payout up at our friends north of the border at Assiniboia Downs. And so I guess how do we approach this? We'll start here and ask, I thought that race 5 was the trickiest, and that might be the one where I would spread. So I'm curious if you guys have either a, yes, you agree that that's definitely a spread race, or, hey, I think we should single this horse. And Trusty, are you prepared for that? Because I'll start with you.
Well, I don't think I'm prepared for it. I think my internet's trying to kill me, honestly. I'm blaming Colin's internet with this. I might have to tap out for a little bit and see if it gets better.
Okay.
But I'll be in chat for a little bit. So sorry about that. I'll let you guys dissect this pick 5 real quick and see if I can fix the problem.
Okay.
That's okay, Trusty. The 40% back to Trusty still stands, so don't let him get out of it. Just send him your address and he'll pay you back. All right, Sean. How about you? Where are you going to build your pick 5 around?
Yeah, mine went around the 4. Not Afraid. Carl Anderson, Tarasenko. This kid seems to ride it very well. I think that the loss where he came in 6th, that group was just absolutely too tough, and he found friends again that he could run with. And I think, again, he'll be very tough tonight. And if speed is showing like it is right there so far, then he's got a very good chance here of being very tough to catch. That was my number 1 pick. The number 2 pick for me was Last Renegade, the 2, Beno Anderson, trying to be, and 2 matching Andersons there. And then the 3rd pick was the 8, Marquee Well.
Sorry, I jumped ahead there. Yeah. I had wanted to bring up my cap in the card sheet because I thought maybe you were watching my show, because I went Not Afraid as my top pick and Last Renegade as my value play in race 5. So me and you, Sean, were right on the same 2 horses. In that race. You had some that are dropping down. I think you get a jockey upgrade there with Bino on the 2 with Last Renegade. This is a horse that's been running an allowance optional claiming company along with the 1. There's a little bit of a concern there with the 4 running at claiming 7,500s, but the speed figures had been increasing. And as you said, if you get some early speed on the front end that can hold, with at least a horse that has gone the distance, this horse is 6 for 8 at the distance, unlike the early speed that we saw in the last race where I had said, this horse might present some early speed to upset the cart, but it hadn't had any success at the distance. So a little bit of success, was 1 for 5. So me and you are on the same two horses. Let's start here in race 3. Where should people start off their pick 5? For me, had mentioned earlier Adjournment was my value play.
Yeah.
Don't know necessarily if that's a horse you might want to include on your ticket. These were my picks from my capping the card. Gallant Oak was my top pick, and Adjournment was my value play. Where were you, Sean?
Yeah, in this race, I was definitely I was 3 something super and interesting. That was my and not just and interesting. He's getting played right away. I love the fact that at Turf Paradise, if you go back to his races, his best races were at 6.5 furlongs when he was closing stoutly. And if Big Stretch just did what he did, coming from behind, then you have to be like in the style of something super. Hadn't run in a year, came in second. I think the 5.5 furlong race was the perfect race for the setup for the 7.5 furlong effort. And obviously, everything goes through Gallant Oak, cutting back to 7.5 furlongs. He just doesn't like to win, and that's if you're looking to play a horse, always there, but just doesn't like to win. And I noted that. And the horse that actually ran a big race last time was Monstradamus on the inside. So against Gallant Oak, he ran a big race in that race too, really closing. So I was 3-2-1 here in the third.
Yeah, and I would be 2-1-3. I liked that one as well. If you look at this horses, he's talking about the one Monstradamus, always within 2 lengths, and those are at longer races. So we're cutting back a little bit here to 7.5 furlongs. But look at some of the horses that Monstradamus has lost to.
Yep.
Manodora is running in the Manitoba Derby later. You got Magic Tiger, who we talked about. Stay Happy, Delavecchio, who was a horse that took a lot of money last Monday.
Yes.
And House Limit. House
Yep.
Limit's the horse who I am now enthralled with after I know that Sean fed House Limit some mints a couple years ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Trusty, let's see if your internet is working again. Who do you like here in race 3?
I think we're good.
Yep,
I think we're good. All right. So in race 3, I took the 7 on top, and I think you could go short this leg. I would really go 7-2. But I went to the 7 on top. I think could sit a good trip tonight. Showed speed the last 2 times, but I think that was because the horse was on the rail. I think could actually get a stalking trip where like he was in March at Turf Paradise. And I think that horse could run a pretty big race tonight.
Race 4 is the Manitoba Mile, named after Harvey Warner, long-term board chair of the nonprofit jockey club, who saved this track from bankruptcy. He unexpectedly passed away last year, so that's where you get the Harvey Warner Manitoba Mile. I was interested certainly in the Diodoro shipper number 5. I think I actually went with let's see, I have to remind myself of the picks because I did this before we went away. So I went Great Escape on top with Big Nick. Big Nick number 1 was the horse that I had as a value play. I just love those increasing speed figures. And this horse is going to be forwardly placed with Antonio Whitehall, who's ridden the last 4 times. He's had some success up at Assiniboia Downs this year, and I thought at 6-1 that was a horse that I would be interested in. Sean, where were you in race 4?
Yeah, I think it goes all through Great Escape. I think if the horses that he's riding against, Ain't Life Grand and Frosted Grace, and I mean Mr. Wireless, any one of them would be probably 1-5 or 4-5 in this group. And he gets Walcott again, who's had great success here, 2 for 2 at Assiniboia Downs, including the Manitoba Derby last year. So he likes this track. So it obviously goes through the 5. My upset pick was the 7, Brock on By. I did like his last race there at a mile. Just lost to Van Glider, but ran a very good race. And I thought at a price, he would be my second choice. And then the third was Big Nick with Antonio Whitehall.
So I would be 5-1. Sean would be 5-7-1. Trusty, where were you in race number 4?
So race number 4 in the Harvey Warner Mile. I understand people could single the 5 Great Escape. I mean, that's a logical single. If I was playing a pick 5, that's what I would do. But if I was betting this race, I would go to who is my top pick actually. And I know I just said single 5, but my top pick's the 6 Magic Tiger. That's only because of odds and value and stuff like that. Magic Tigers became a different horse since coming to Assiniboia Downs, having 4 starts, 3 wins, and a third. And I just think that the horse is rounded back into form. But if I was singling, this would probably be the leg where I would single a 5. But yeah, I would go short as well.
Okay, we talked about me and Sean talked about race 5. I was 4-2. Sean was 4-2 as well. Where were you, Trusty?
The 5th race, I am taking Prices. This is my, I guess, long shot Dennis race. I like the 7 Gold Special, and I like the 6 Lucky Luke. Lucky Luke was beaten favorite last time out for slightly lower company and was beaten by a head as a heavy favorite and ran against a lot of these horses. Actually was just close behind the favorite, the morning line favorite, Marquis Well. And the 7 horse was also beaten heavy favorite 2 races ago for a little bit lower class, but still slightly the same and also off the claim. So I like the 7 and 6 in the 5th race.
Nice. Tim thinks the closest he can come to is a single the 5 in the race 4, as we had mentioned. Someone I thought had said maybe the 6 as well. Jimmy thinks that the single is the 1 in the last, but he could make an argument for the 4 and the 5th as well for some singles. So we move on to race 6, which is the Unstoppable. Starts here, Remax. A field of 10. You got a big field here, so this doesn't make this sequence any easier. I thought that the 1, 2, 6, 10 were all horses that were going to be forwardly placed,
Yes.
which is why I thought that you could find some value both in either Pray for Peace, the 5, or the 7, Real Grace. If you want to go back to capping the card, my graphic was not sorry, that's race 5. Race 6 I had, oh, look at that, I remembered. Real Grace, 4-1, my top pick, and Pray for Peace was my value play at 6-1. Sean, where were you in race 6?
I love Explosive. I think if you just watched, if you're a fan of Stretch there, just absolutely just annihilating that field. I think that's exactly the move that Explosive's going to make tonight in that 6th race. And I think if the speed, if there's a lot of speed up early, I think that 3 is going to be coming very live with Shady, and he'll be coming late. So I really like that 3. He would be one of my if I was doing a pick 5 singles in this race. I really do like Explosive.
There you go. That is a single from Sean Patrick Nolan, the 3, Explosive in race 6. How about you, Trusty?
Well, I hope that doesn't blow up, Sean. But no, this is. I thought this. So you're singling here, and I totally understand why. I thought this was the hardest race of the night, and in a lot of tough races, either you spread like crazy or you single. So I totally get that thought. I like the 1 Jeff Papa, who's always been running good recently in really solid form. But has speed. I also like this 10 Stay Happy, who also has speed. Another one in solid form, but needs to get kind of back into that really good form, though. But the horse that I really like is the Legend of Assiniboia, Mr. Dazzle, at 10-1. I think, beating favorite last time, again, that angle comes back for me. Did run 4th in that Free Press Stakes and has a really good closing kick. I think a similar closing kick to the 3. So if I'm taking the 3, who's 5-2, or Mr. Dazzle at 10-1, I would rather go to the 10-1. But this is a tough race.
Absolutely, and the 1 Jeff Fafa being favorite the last 7 races. I thought was very interesting. So we'll join in Keith here for race 6. Keith, we've been
Hey,
going.
how's it going?
We're doing
Hey,
great,
Keith.
and we're going to get right to it. We're going to forget the pleasantries for now because we're on a time limit here with this pick 5 coming up, and we want to know from you your thoughts on race 6.
All right, let's go right to race 6. Well, how you guys doing? And big night tonight. So let's see what we got. Let me go right to race 6. All right. Yeah, I heard Dennis what you said about Jeff Fafa. This horse is in great form. I didn't really like the rail draw with this horse. I've been watching this meet the entire meet, and it's actually a play against for me, even though this horse is in incredible form. But and the 10 I was interested in, but that was another one I was a little concerned about, that outside post. So in this big field, I was kind of looking at Sean's 3 on top, actually explosive, and just there's a lot of speed in this race I rode, and this horse won't be too far back. Could nice posts, sit a nice trip, and second time with the jockey riding this horse. I think last time Shadi Jr. actually kind of rode this horse a little too far back, and I think he might know a little bit to keep it closer. The best races for this horse is in the first or second flight, so I really think the 3 is a major player, and I like the 1 and the 10, but more for underneath. So I was kind of just focused on the 3. I'm not sure if I'll single the 3, but I like your thinking there, Sean. But good race.
Yeah, so there you go for race 6 here for Trust the Profits. And I think if anything, it tells you that we have some very differing opinions on that race. So you hammer your opinions, who you like at home. And we move on to race 7 to hopefully round out our thoughts on this pick 5. I've already talked about the 1 Heroic Move. I think on these big days, horses like this come in and they perform as they should. And I'm basically going off of what I saw in that last race in the Iowa Derby, just a talented horse who, in my opinion, gets by. And you add another 16th of a mile. I don't think that's any problem for Heroic Move versus some of these Assiniboia horses that, as we've talked about many nights, are used to running at 5, 6, 7 furlongs. Sean, quickly, who do you like in the Manitoba Derby?
Yeah, obviously it goes through the 1 Heroic Move. I just think he's got Rico, who's ridden this track and been the leading rider many times. He knows it very well. Robertino brings him in. I think he just flat out classes this group, and I just don't see them beating him. B minor, same thing in terms of Robert Diodoro. He knows what he's doing. He comes in to win just like he did 1-2 last year. This horse obviously has been facing much better. He doesn't blow me off the page like the 1 does, but obviously versus this group, placing could be very likely. My 2 long shots were Manadura. I know Gorno tried to get him in the stakes race last time that night where he had to scratch all of his horses. Last week, if you watch that race on July 24th, right, he did get up, but I watched the replay. I don't think Badri was trying full out to win. I think he was trying to get him a race just before this, and he picks up Whitehall for this assignment, and I think that could be a major move. And I think third, I like the 10, Saxon Saga, Wendy Anderson, 4 for 4 in the money at Assiniboia Downs. Ran a very nice Derby trial last time, and I think he could be a danger. So he was my 3rd and 4th picks.
Would you single the 1, Sean, quickly?
Absolutely. Okay. He's too tough. Yeah.
Trusty, you got 1 minute.
All right. So for me, my top pick was the 8 Manadora because I think they've claimed this horse for the spot. It might not work out, but 12-1. If Jerry Gornell believes that this horse is in this right spot, maybe. The 1's obviously logical. I can't say nothing else. I think Sheboy is a horse that's interesting shipping in from the Pletcher barn to now Assiniboia. And if I was going crazy and going really outside the box, there's some very good value on the 2 Chicago's Gray. All right, Keith.
All right, Keith, you got 1 minute. We have a jackpot that is approaching $1 million, and it's going to hit $1 million while Keith's talking, getting you to the post. Go, Keith.
Yeah, with the Manitoba Derby, I was interested in the 3 actually that Dennis was just talking about. Just an impressive win, breaking the maiden at Ellis. Just thought that was an impressive run, and I think we'll like the distance. I mean, if I'm feeling bold, I would maybe put a sort of like a pick 5 together, including the 3 and the 1, and kind of fade some other favorites before. But I think the 1's obviously the horse to beat, but I'm intrigued by the 3 and the 5 underneath.
So there you have it. We did it in 19 minutes. The 3 and the 4 of us went through all 5 races. Here is Cindy. As we start hearing from you guys, please put your pick 5s in the chat so we can pay attention to them. Don't forget, for race 5, we're going to do a giveaway. Race 4, we got the pick 4. Maybe we'll team up and do that. It'll be a little bit easier to manage now that we know some of our thoughts. Cindy's singling the 2 here, going 5, 6, then all in that race that we had talked about as probably being an all race, then going 4 deep in the 6th race, which we thought was going to be tricky, and then singling Heroic Move. So I can't argue with you at all there, Cindy. In here, who we have to pay attention to, who just nailed 3 in the last, betting 200, is going to follow Sean here with number 3, Something Super. One horse that both me and I believe Trusty had as well. El Hombre pick 5 is he's going 1-2, which actually is where I was. I was 2-1-3. As I try to back up my past performance. So yes, Gallant's out and Monstradamus. Can't disagree with you there. He's a $32 ticket. Love it. Put them all in. Keep them coming. We're going to get through them all. Here's In's pick 5. Singling the 3. So singling some super, and then also singling Great Escape. Can't argue with that. And then going deep, and then hitting Heroic Moves.
All 1. Yep. Okay.
In sees it just as we did with those couple middle legs. Here's Alex going 3-7 here in the first leg. Does not have a single, so if you want to skip the single, you can maybe follow along with Alex there. DJ, a new name. Welcome to the show, DJ. Love to have you. DJ. Not singling as well, using Heroic Move there in the last and using some of these inside horses. There we go. We are over $1 million jackpot pick 5.
There it is.
For Assiniboia Downs. This is awesome.
Good luck, Jimmy J.
Jimmy's going deep here in the first leg with Heroic Move as a single at the end. So the singles I have seen in following this quickly is definitely Heroic Move, and the 5 in the next, the Giant Great Escape.
Yes.
Just as we did. So a lot of talking. Don't forget, we're going to have some hat giveaways for race 5. We got the pick 4 for race 4. Sean, after race 3, we need an update on the stable duels. We got to talk to Keith about his stable duel because he's joined the show. This is as action-packed as it gets. We got 70 people in the chat. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you don't.
Yes, please, everybody, please do so. Yeah.
We got some great handicapping. We do this every Monday night. Once Monday Night Football comes back, we're going to move to Tuesday night so that we'll let you enjoy your Monday Night Football, and we'll break up Tuesday for you. And next thing you know, it'll be hump day, and then it'll be the weekend. So we are here to get you through. Uncle Sully here, who's a big-time player in Stable Duel, walking in with success off the start, singling the 3 as well. So seen a lot of singles on Heroic Move, Sean, but we're seeing a lot of people following Something Super as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, quite an interesting thing. Yeah, both.
Wow,
both
that's an interesting ticket from Marv Beatty. Wow.
Nice.
Marv Beatty, not to be confused with Marv in Buffalo, goes 1-2-3. I cannot argue with you there. Singling the 1 in race 6. Who's the 1?
Oh, that's your horse, Dennis.
Oh, Jeff Papa.
Yeah.
Marv, if the 1 loses, Trusty will give you 40% back on that pick 5 ticket because he used the like Jeff Papa.
Yeah, he just got back from his oil fields, and he just in time for the show, and he's excited. Yep.
I'm so thankful nobody's ever reached out on that. Oh my God.
Tim Hughes gives us a little exacta here. He likes the 3 as well. So if you like the 3, you got some company here. Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Love it. 3 singling the 3, then singling the 6. Magic Tiger, who is a horse that one of you liked, and then singling the 8, Marky Well, and then going deep in the last leg, which that's not a bad strategy. And 1, 2, 3.
The 2 is at 8 seconds, but I like the 2 in this spot actually. I think maybe today's the day, and I like the 7 also that Dennis was talking about. So I like some of those Turf Paradise races, and then I like the 3. But if I was going to start a pick 5 here, I mean, you might either want to spread a couple or just single, like some of the viewers are doing.
Yeah, Zach likes the 10 in the last. I think that's a solid long shot play.
Nice.
All right, we're going to get up to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
No, go ahead, bud.
No, you go ahead. I'm trying to get my ticket in.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're coming up to the gate here. Yep, and exciting. Get your wagers in. Do not be shut out. Exactly.
Look at this pool. Wow.
Over $1 million, their highest jackpot pool ever. 1.3 million bucks, folks. We're talking serious cash up here in Canada.
Yeah, it's got to get to 1.5, I think.
Yeah, it's going to get there, I think. For me, this race, I'm betting winning place on the 7 is active box 278 and a trifecta box since they're 20 cents 1278.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
I'll throw my ticket in the chat. I'm doing a skinny one. I'm only going $9. Pressing all these opinions here.
Well, and you know what?
Although I missed the 3 in the first because I want that.
5, if you want to hit the pick 5, just go all with all. You're guaranteed.
I was just thinking that. I don't know how much it would cost. Probably.
Do I get the trustee 40% back on that?
Grand.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's guaranteed.
Well, good luck, everybody.
Ooh.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
Got a little movement.
Here. Somebody.
That's the 7.
That's the 7. Yep.
Yeah, that went my top pick there. All right. Well,
we could have a late scratch here.
We're gonna have a late scratch.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way that horse can go.
No.
I hope. Hope the horse is all right. Looks to be okay.
Okay.
$2 million.
Oh, wow.
$2 million.
That and it's at
Somebody dropped a lot of money late. Yeah.
Colin dropped a lot of money. Colin did.
Late scratch.
That was me. That was me.
Once the horse hits the ground, they automatically have to be scratched. And he hit the ground. So yeah, there's no way he was coming in,
Yep. Now
they're backing him up. Maybe we can hit 3 million.
We could.
Yeah, we might hit 3 million. Right. Actually, let's just call Assiniboia Downs up since they're basically with the show now. Tell them just postpone this race for 45 minutes and really drown this out to about 5 million.
Yeah. Alex, you do get the post-time favorite.
Oh, please don't do that.
Hey, good news to everybody, though. At least we will not have an off the turf.
Right.
Yes, that is good.
Yeah,
and they put up the screen so that they cannot get off the turf.
We don't have that problem up at Assiniboia Downs, as they will back them out, as you mentioned, start to load them in, and that the number is just skyrocketing. We're over 2.4 million now, so this is going to be a lot of fun, and we got a lot to talk about here on Trust the Profits. Thank you all for your support.
Jay,
any last seconds of the seven scratching with some early speed.
Jay,
but I'm not sure that it was going
to. If you had the 7 with the favorite, you get it twice because you get your horse. Is that yep? So
exactly. They'll pay you twice for it.
Yeah.
If you hit it, so
it's like you having 2 times. Yep. So you got to look out and be careful on who the favorite is.
Yeah.
And that looks like the 2.
Nice. And with stable duel, you could actually edit out, and you could replace that horse with within the salary that you have remaining. So it's a good feature. Thankfully this isn't the last race, because then you can't really swap out the horse. But it's good that you got to be on top of it. And even if you miss this race, you could actually insert a horse later on in the card if you have time. But yeah, definitely keep those notifications on. That's what I do.
So now, since they scratched the horse I was betting, I guess I'm going to take a 1, 2, 8 exacta and trifecta. So,
All right. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Inside, outside. They're loading them back in. Here we go. The $2.4 million pick 5 up at Assiniboia Downs on Manitoba Derby night. Good luck, everybody.
To the outside. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off. Quickly from the inside, Monstradamus. Getting good positioning, adjournment. Now goes out to capture the lead with Labrat. To his outside, putting on the pressure. Settle back in third. That's Monstradamus on the rail with Something Super back in fourth. On the outside in fifth, Side Street, Dave Gallon Oak, the favorite, moving up the rail, and the early trailer will be well played. The opening quarter, a rather quick 23-1, and it's adjournment and Labrat. These two battling it out nose and nose. Monstradamus making his move early to engage those leaders, going 3 wide. Gallon Oak running into a wall right now, back in fourth, a half mile, 47-1, a heated pace, and taking over Monstradamus. Gallon Oak with free running room in second, going after Monstradamus. Something Super rally in fourth, also getting motivated, well played. They hit the head of the lane. Monstradamus, 3/4, 13-1. Gallon Oak on the outside. These two bobbing right at the 16th pole. The favorite, if you got him, you're alive in the pick 5. Gallon Oak is the winner. Monstradamus second best. Third's going to go to Well Played. And fourth to Something Super.
there we go.
All right.
So there you have it. Race 3 gets Gallant Oak gets home at 8-5, followed by the Monstradamus, who we talked about. Certainly ran a big race there. If you took him in stable duel at 5-1, that was a great play. I think it was a good play.
Yes,
and the pick 5 as well for the value. Just couldn't hang on there at the extra half furlong. I had actually talked about this horse was constantly being close to the lead. I thought maybe the cutback would be okay, but just couldn't get there. The 3 Something Super, a lot of people played in stable duel. Sean, will you let us know what percentage had Something Super?
Yeah,
because I'd be interested to know based on how many people singled that horse.
Let me see here. Let me see here, my friends. Yeah, absolutely.
We got
that race. Let me see here for you. I will check right now. In that race, that was race 3. 68% used the 3.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
And Gallon Oak only had 9%.
Wow.
All right. Well, I used Gallon Oak, so that was big.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And Monstradamus only had 7%. So.
All right.
So since we went over the pick 5, and I said the 2 and the 7, and the 7 scratch, did I technically get my single home?
Yeah, you get 2 times. Yep.
Oh, I get the consolation single home. Okay.
Well, and you get post time favorite.
Yeah.
Nice, Dennis.
No, I'm not playing it. I'm just joking around with you guys.
Very good. So there you have it. I will bring you the results when we have them, with your 2 Gallant Oak on top and 1 Monstradamus on third. I know El Hombre decided to leave the 3 off and stick with the 1.
Which is smart.
1, 2, so good job for you. Right at the wire, I was in 6th in Stable Duel until the 4 took a dump. So sorry for that, Alex. The second itis horse did it. And you could certainly say that, yeah. But what I was not concerned about with this horse for second itis is the horses he's been running against. I mean, Manodoro's running in the Manitoba Derby later, Grey Admiral, Warriors Map, Exchequer, another horse that's really solid up at Assiniboia Downs. So although there's a lot of seconds on there, the second place finishes, the winners of those races are nothing to sneeze at.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, Galleon Oak got a perfect setup there too. It was a nice ride. I mean, it was just they were going fast up front and angled that horse out, and the one ran big too.
Something super had a bumping with the 4, around the first turn, and I think that really hurt his momentum in terms of being a player in this race. They were kind of dueling at each other. Yeah.
There's your payouts. 2-1 exacta pays $9, $9.85. Dollar try $66.85. Dollar super, nice super there, $165.
Yeah.
Your pick 3 pays $5.92. Obviously hurt by the 7 being in there as well. And your dollar pick 3 pays $29.60. I get confused when they throw up that 20-cent in the middle there. It always you're not used to it everywhere. And right at the wire brings up a good point, which is frustrating for those of us that had Gallant Oak, is those that had the 7 get the post-time favorite. So if you had the 1-2, you're definitely cheering for the 1 on there, not only because of the 4-1, but also because of all those people that had the 7 who get added with the post-time favorite. Keith, now we can say welcome you into the show. And how are you doing? How are you making out?
Very good. Thank you for having me. I know we had to, go fast and furious there with the pick 5 pool, but it felt like every week was leading up to this big Manitoba Derby night. So I'm glad everybody's in the chat, and I was thinking about possibly skipping out on the Stable Duel big one, but I did get in, of course, at the last second.
And how are we doing so far?
Slow start. I used some longer shots in the beginning, but I just had Galleon Oak there, so that was helpful. So maybe you'll get me into the double digits now instead of the triple digits. So we'll see. We got a lot of horse left, so it'll be good.
Dennis, are you in the Stable Duel?
No, I didn't do it. I felt like I should leave that to the professionals. Well, and honestly, too, I knew going in, if Burrow Down lost, I'd been in trouble. I mean, I know a lot of people would have took that horse, but still, I knew going in, if that horse lost, I'd have been in trouble. So I just figured I'm not even gonna take a shot with it. But I hope you guys win, either here in chat or here on screen, preferably in chat, because I hate all the losers on the screen right now. Besides Sean, Sean's the winner. Everybody else is a loser. No, I'm kidding.
I guess you lost a couple of bets today, Dennis.
But no, didn't take a shot.
Your first place right now in the $35 game is Hot Rod 2, but it's important to notice that he's used 7 horses. So you have these stables that go really heavy in the first couple races. Just pick a lot. And if you're seeing yourself and you're maybe new to the game, don't worry. Although Hot Rod 2 has also 7th place with only 5 horses, so that would be one to be worried about from Hot Rod 2. Let me know if Hot Rod 2 is out there in the chat, and we will give you a sense of the standings there. Sean, you have the key to the secret game. What's happening in the private game tonight? Who's your top 3? Is it anybody we know right now?
Okay, so right now in the first is Killick. Second, and this is only through race 2, folks, so race 3 is not in yet. El Hombre was in second at 148. Foolish Pleasure wins. Third, still running. Z Runners, Libation. That's what G said. Crossed the line. I'm in 10th after 2 races. Then we're looking at Tim was in 17th after Matt DeSantis is in 18th after 2 races. And This is a field of 25. Yep.
Rodney, it's awesome. I'd love to know your thought process and just hammering those early races. Like, I'm just curious when I see someone that just loads up on the first three races and then just sits back and says, "Come and get me," basically. Whereas someone like Matt and me both do the opposite. We like to play like Zenyatta and load up in races 5, 6, and 7. So let us know how you approach that. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Huge numbers tonight for Manitoba Derby. Hopefully you're still alive in the pick 5 with a $2.5 million pot. We move on to the Manitoba Mile. As I had mentioned, this race is named after Harvey Warner, who was a longtime board chair of the nonprofit Manitoba Jockey Club, and he saved the Downs from bankruptcy, who Warner passed away unexpectedly last year. So that is where the background is behind Harvey Warner. In the Manitoba Mile Stakes, you have a field of 7 with a horse that we saw many of you single in the 5 Great Escape. Many of you had the 5 Great Escape on your tickets, not someone that we felt that you should leave off, but we did feel like there were some other options to go in here. This is the other Robertino Diodoro who's shipping in. And on these big nights, you have to be aware of trainers like this bringing in not only the horse from afar, in this case, Ellis Park on June 30th, but also bringing in Rico Walcott, who we brought in for the big races, and has him running here on this race. This horse, Great Escape, if you go back to August 1st of last year, actually was the second place finisher in the Manitoba Derby. Those were 2 horses that Diodoro had brought in, Red Knobs and Great Escape. That was Diodoro's 4th Manitoba Derby. Remember, this year, the Manitoba Derby is the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown with a $100,000 bonus if a horse can take down all 3 of those. So maybe something else you want to consider is of these horses, maybe who could come in and take all 3 of those. But before we get to that, I know, Sean, you like Brock on by, and I know you're also interested in the 5 and the 1 like me. So, Keith, we haven't heard from you yet on race number 4. Who did you like?
Yeah, no, I heard everybody say their cases for the horses. Now, I do, of course, I like the 5. Just, this horse, like you touched on, ran second in the Manitoba Derby last year, and then followed up that good performance with winning the Canadian Derby at Century Mile, it looks like. So, I mean, no, the only thing I didn't really care for was that there was no works, I guess. I know this horse just actually had a work at Canterbury, it looks like, but I always like to see. I mean, I know Diodoro has done this move before, but I really think, the 5 is going to be a popular single on a lot of tickets. Just, from the just all these races that it's run so well in at Oak Lawn, and just seems like this horse can really run at any kind of track. So I know that some of the services are a little different, but 5's, obviously a major player on top there for me. And I gave Magic Tiger the 6 was my second choice here. I think this horse will actually kind of like the stretch out, and the running style for this horse actually kind of suits, I think, the stretch out. It just kind of looks like it makes a move from the back, and now getting the 8 furlongs, and it just been in great form. I mean, it's won 3 out of the last 4 races for Wendy Anderson. So, it might be up against class-wise against the 5, but I do like the 6. I know it's a 3-1 morning line, but I like the 6 to be involved in this. And then I actually looked at Sean 7 there, Brock on by. Just thought that was a game effort on July 24th. Just lost by a length, and then it's the second time now at ASD. So sometimes you see these horses kind of move forward, second start at the track, and getting used to its surroundings, and just been a consistent type. So I was leading obviously with the 5 on top with using Magic Tiger and Brock on by underneath.
Very solid.
There you have it. I also thought that Assiniboia Downs, the record for Magic Tiger up at Assiniboia Downs, 3 for 4. And me and my friend who went up to the track this weekend always talk about on the ride home, looking at the Del Mar races, horses by Smiling Tiger. Smiling Tiger does so much success out at Golden Gate and Del Mar. Yesterday, actually, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was Mr. Disrespectful, I believe, was a Smiling Tiger who paid $29 in the race 5 or 6 over at Del Mar yesterday. We talked about it because it was a money back special race, and there was 3 Smiling Tigers in there. And that's how it. Every time I see a Smiling Tiger, it's one of those ones that I just consider a successful horse out west. You're getting by Noah Board here, who's raced on this horse the last 4 times up at Assiniboia Downs, and this is one of those cases where you have some of the horses coming back at each other, right? You got the 1, the 4, and the 6, who are all, as we talked about, Sean, in the other race there, with a 1, 2, and 3 were all going at each other for a third-time matchup. You got a little bit of a matchup coming back here in race 4. Trusty, where would you go if you're betting this race as a solo?
As far as pick 5 and stuff will go, I think the 5 is logical single. I really do. I get it. But from a betting perspective, I also see Magic Tiger. From a betting perspective, this horse is actually kind of overbet to me right now. Even though I like the horse. But 5-2 is kind of tough to swallow versus the 5. But one thing that the 6 does have going well for the horse right now is the track is really starting to play heavy towards the closers, which the 5, the 7, the 3, and the 1 kind of have speed, or at least close enough stalking speed that can set the 6 up. So I like the 6, but it's hard to bet right now. If the horse goes up to 3-1, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kurt and Stretch are right in line with most of us here with the 1-5-6. So we're all seeing it very similar. The public is certainly seeing it very heavy on this 5 with Great Escape. They were right in the last race. They missed out on Big Burrow. They followed Trusty's picks on Twitter. So we'll see how they do today here in race number 4 with the 5 Great Escape. This is the Diodoro shipping in, and maybe will give us a little hint towards that last race in Manitoba Derby on how Diodoro's horses are showing up for today.
Yeah.
This is the start of the.
All right, let's see what's going on in. That's right. We have a $100,000 guaranteed pick 4. So now you got to think about it a little bit differently. The pick 5, you can do the 20-cent ticket. I have a $9 ticket in that I got through with the 1 and 2. And for transparency, I have the 1, 5, 6, 7 in my $9 ticket here, playing that 20-cent pick 5. So I am 1, 5, 6, and 7. I will tell you, I added the 7 because it was a horse that Sean has talked multiple times about tonight. So I'm relying on my partners here to help us get through this tough ticket tonight. Rodney's still alive. He singled the 1 and added the 5 on another ticket on race 7. Jimmy Johnson says the 3 is well placed here, going back to a mile. Has competitive figs when running routes and has 4 recent wins. Tim Hughes has the 2, 3 on 2 tickets. And we got Trusty in there bragging about his wins last week and not helping the people this week, but that's okay.
I already gave out a Exacta. I didn't pay. Actually, I gave out the first and third race Exacta. I'm sorry I didn't pay much. I'm sorry.
Dennis, you had a big Stretch on top, or?
Oh God, what was that horse last week?
Okay.
It was
whatever.
25-1. Yeah, last week.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's what sent El Hombre to the hospital when Dennis gave out a 25 to 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He nearly fell over when he saw it. And that's what sent that's why we haven't had El Hombre on streams for a week, because
exactly.
Dennis did a 25 to 1 on his street race 6 last week.
Exactly.
That's great.
All right, great stuff. All right, so let's change the strategy a little bit for people that are approaching
the pick 4.
The pick 4.
Yeah.
I would be remiss to leave off the one Big Nick here. Obviously going $1 now. I would need to cut a horse. I'm sorry, Sean. I added him on my pick 5, but I would probably go.
No, understood.
Probably go 156 for me. Although I would say that in an instance like this, and this is where I've tried to get better from ticket construction, right? We all talk about handicapping. You got to focus on your ticket construction. To me, if I'm doing a pick 4, I'm either going to single the 5 or I'm going to go 1-6. And I don't want to put together a ticket where I use all 3. I'd love to hear people's thoughts both here on the show and then also in the chat. If you're pros at putting together tickets, is that the right strategy? Do I use all of them? Maybe you just have to use one of them, because right now you got 5 at even money, 6 at 2 to 1, and the 1 at 7 to 2. So I'm actually getting a little bit of a feeling here that you probably want to just take a stand and be okay losing. You got to be okay losing in this sport. Obviously not if you're in we got to put up one of those betting disclaimers, right? This is not professional advice. And if you have a betting problem, call 1-877 betting.
Don't bet your rent money.
Wait, what's that number? Let me get the phone out real quick.
Yeah.
What's that number?
Well, first thing you should do is pay for your internet, so you don't have to do this on your phone, Trusty.
Yeah.
So you're one to talk, Colin, mister. I can't get the live stream up for Assiniboia. Okay, see? You got to watch the shots being fired. You got to watch them.
It's smooth now, baby. What would you do, Sean? Would you pick one of those to single? Or, I mean, you like the 7s. There's 21 to 1. So if I had that 7 as well, I would probably pick one of the 3 that I liked and add the 7. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I go Great Escape and the 7, because you're getting 21 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, I like the 7 more as a stable dual play rather than than a betting play.
All right, throw them out.
Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bit shocked here, by the way, that this 5 is. I know it's early, but with 6 minutes, he's only at even money. I thought he would be like 2 to 5, 3 to 5. So this is interesting that the 6 is getting action against him. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is very, and the 1 is getting action against him, which I didn't think that was going to happen. You know, I thought the 5 was just going to be like 2 to 5. So this is, and the crowd with Assiniboia is very smart. You know what I'm saying? So this is a little shock. I mean, obviously it could change. He can go down to 3 to 5 very quickly. But if I'm singling the 5, I'm a little worried that the other horses are getting play right along with him. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, doesn't mean that he's not the best horse. He could win by 5 lengths, but the other 2 are very much getting play with him, which means the Assiniboia crowd is saying this is not a 1-horse race. So I think this is very interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it just also, I'm looking at the place in the show pool. Sometimes with these favorites that, kind of stand out, they take big money in the place in the show, and that's actually not the case for the 5 right now. Just lined up with all the other contenders. So usually you would see at least another 500 or $1,000 in that pool. But yeah, it comes to your point, Sean, that it might be a little bit more wide open than sometimes the tote board says that. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you remember in Manaduro's race, right, when he came up, the horse that's running later in the race, he was the, quote, big favorite, but the second favorite was right next to him in the pick 3. And we're like, why is he so close? And he only beat him by like a half an inch. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So the crowd up there, if they're betting, they know, so it's interesting. They think this is closer than people think.
Yeah.
68 people on YouTube right now, many more on Facebook. We see the numbers go up as we get close to post time. So as we get close to post time, I want to use this moment to plug. Don't walk away too far at the end of this race, because for race 5, we're going to give away some swag. We're going to give away one of those beautiful hats that Keith is wearing, one of the Assiniboia Downs white hats. We also have one in the black. I didn't bring it. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at you two. Our previous winners. So you can see how easy it is if Trusty and Keith both have won a hat on this show.
Or I also got the shirt too.
So don't go far. Do your handicapping. What we're going to do is, and don't do it now, we'll give you the time to do it. You're going to throw your pick for race 5 in the chat. One of us will do our best to keep track of them all. And at the end, after race 5, whoever has picked the correct winner, we are going to do a hat giveaway. So we know the numbers spike now. There's 3 minutes to race 4. So stick around. Don't jump off, because you don't want to miss your opportunity to walk around with a Assiniboia Downs hat like me at Saratoga this weekend. I was asked multiple times, "Oh, are you from Assiniboia Downs?" And I said, well, no, but I love it, and tune in Monday night because we have a live show. So we got to.
You can plug this show then, yeah.
That's right. I didn't have one of the sweet hats that El Hombre has, so we'll have to add that to my repertoire. But the ASD was rocking at Saratoga this weekend, and
it was. Yes, it certainly was.
I was standing out with that.
Yeah, I mean the whole Twitter family was basically rocking at Saratoga. It was great to see some pics and stuff from everybody. It's amazing how basically it's like one giant family. It's really cool.
It is, and that's a reason I've joined doing this, and I love doing it, is because you meet people. We met right at the wire, Angry Yankee, Aaron and Jared from the Racing Dudes. Matt was up there. Sean was up there. Jessica was up there. Vinny was up there with SJP picks. The Whitney weekend has definitely become the weekend that a lot of people from Twitter tend to migrate up, at least if you're on the East Coast, or in Jessica's case, you drive 32 hours from Texas to get there on time.
Wow. That's
so you have no excuse, Trusty, to not see you up there this weekend.
I know. I need to go. I need to go. Next year, I'm trying to think of every way. I might sell some organs. Anybody need some organs? I might sell and go.
Organs. I thought you said orchids.
I said orchids. I was like, what are you, Florence?
How many are you going to sell? 50 million at $1 each?
That's great.
Orchid Trusty.
By the way, in full disclosure, I did put just a couple of bucks across on my 7 at 15 to 1.
All right.
It's worth the cross bet, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If the horse hits the board, you're looking at definitely getting a positive ROI back, especially with the place. Yeah.
So.
Trusty, I don't know if you have it down where you live, but up here, at rush hour, you get the people that walk between the aisles and the traffic with a bucket of flowers trying to sell them.
Yeah.
Do you have that in Kentucky? Do you see that at all?
We don't have that. We don't have enough traffic to even start doing that. We got the guys that say, "Hey, you want us to wash your car?" And if you say no, they break your window at the next red light. I'm kidding.
So we got the people that stand and they walk up the aisles of the traffic when you stopped at a red light with a bucket of flowers. And I can just picture you with a bucket of orchids, $3 and you make a sign that says, "Get me to Saratoga."
Need to get to Saratoga, exactly.
Yeah, get photos.
Buy an orchid. And I'll tell you, that's a great Photoshop if anybody's out there with graphics. And I'll tell you, I've never seen one car buy a bouquet of flowers from any of those guys in my 25 years of driving ever get one of those sold.
Yeah.
Wow.
Except on Valentine's Day. It's great when you're driving home and you forgot the flowers and you have that right at your window. So pay attention for Trusty selling orchids in the traffic in Louisville. It's a whole market you're missing out on, Trusty.
Yeah, I see so. I'll only do it on Valentine's Day. That way, I really maximize the the potential of it.
There you go, and you can save your money and swing on down to Gulfstream. So the best turned out, which is the opposite of the Sleepy Time horse tonight, is the 5. Great Escape.
Yep. There's no one shocked. Yep.
That's actually what I want to see tonight. Is Colin say My sleepy time pick in the Manitoba Derby is blank. And then all of a sudden they say best turned out award.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to see that graphic
It's
on
possible.
the feed saying Colin Sheen's sleepy time pick is like on the AST feed. That'd be great.
I think after this race, we learned too who
So
the
pay attention
Assiniboia-
here.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
No, go ahead, John.
I think after this race, we learned who the Assiniboia MVP fan is of the night too.
Oh, all right.
That's true.
I think so.
How have we not won that yet? Any of us from here?
I don't know if you have to
Well,
be
we'll
at
give
the
out a
track
VIP
or
at the
something, but yeah.
Well, that don't mean you're a VIP though. You're not like. Well, okay, fair enough, I guess.
Cindy says the 2 looks very good here at a price that is Van Glider.
Yeah, I remember this
Assiniboia
horse.
Downs race 4 in is going 50 to win on 3. It's that time. So we're getting some variety here in the chat of what people like. Arthur's back. Yeah, really hard to get past the 5. Playing exacta with him over the 4. Alombre saying I'm jinxing the 5. I didn't jinx the 5. I said that it was the best turnout award. I'm just reading the screen. So not me. And they are stalling a little bit to get to the gate, as obviously the pick 4 on this big night. This is if you're joining us here on Mondays at Assiniboia Downs, they move. They're not like Charlestown every single night dragging. So they do a little bit of it tonight on these 2 races just because of what you saw. 2.5 million in the pick 5, and now you've got 100,000 in the pick 4. So they're making their way to the gate. We're so thankful to be partners who allow us to show the races here on the live streams. If you're new, please hit the like and subscribe. It is so big for us. We don't ask for money. We just ask for the click of that little button beneath the stream for what we do here. And remember, as the numbers are high right now, stick around because for race 5, we're going to give away a hat, and you will let us know who you like in race 5. It's a beautiful Assiniboia Downs hat.
Nice.
I found a way to bet this race. I figured out a way to bet this race for me. So I like the 6, and there's a lot of speed. And if you can somehow beat the 5, so I'm going to take the 6 on top in a little 20-cent try. 6 on top with all the speed horses. That would be the 1, 3, 5, and 7 with all. And it only costs $4 for 20 cents. So that way, if you lose, you're not really out nothing. But if you beat the 5, you're really going to get a massive swing. So that's kind of how I'm going to play it.
All right, cool.
There you have it. Who'd you say? 1
lead. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the big Nick's probably from the rail, just going to send. And like you said, Dennis, I think the 1 and the 3 and the 5 just going to be sitting right there. But yeah, I mean, the 6 is just going to be coming from off of it. It's going to be interesting to see. So it's going to be a good race.
There you have it. The pick 4 pool is up to $132,000. Get your tickets now. We're going to throw it up to Kurt for race 4.
Now just waiting on Brock on by to the outside. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off in the Harvey Warner Manitoba Mile. It's that time. Showing speed on the inside. Great escape. In between horses, 3 wide. Brock on by also wants a piece of the front end. Settled back in 4th. Big Nick with Magic Tiger on the outside. Then it's Van Gilder and Convention, the early trailer. Is going to spot him 9 lengths early. The opening quarter, an honest 23-2. And it's that time, and Brock on by. These 2, nose and nose, bridle to bridle, settled back in 3rd. Big Nick in a real good position with a lot of horse, and it's Great Escape coming up the inside. Van Gilder, and it's Magic Tiger and Convention. A heated half mile, 47-2. The leader's about to get company as Big Nick making a big wide move with Great Escape and Magic Tiger. They're engaging Brock on by. The leader, 3/4, 112 and 2. They hit the head of the lane. Big Nick made the big move and has it by 2 and is starting to pour it on. Big Nick at the 16th pole is gonna get it done in here. Big Nick wins the Harvey Warner Manitoba Mile Convention. Looked like it rallied for a second to beat Great Escape. Magic Tiger finished in 4th.
Wow.
That was pretty stunning. Wow.
I don't know.
Two
who
big
got
favorites
second.
tonight going down.
Yeah, Big Nick, who we I know I was certainly on and I talked about as a horse that I was definitely interested in, and I don't like to be a bragger, but I will put up my value play that we talked about as we went through the Pick 5, and that was Big Nick. There's a photo for place, so we'll see if Great Escape.
I think the 4 got second. Yeah, I think so.
I used the 4 in Stable Duel.
The 4?
You know, I thought the 5 actually got second after rewatching it a second time, but I don't really want to call that. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I thought the 5 got a good bob. It's close, though. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I thought Whitehall, that was a nice ride by Whitehall.
Oh, yeah, Whitehall's
Yep.
perfect.
9-2, great price.
Let's see, maybe it'll be a dead heat for a second. Oh,
No,
we got the
4.
4.
Yeah, convention.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
big for
two
my
big
Stable
favorites
Duel.
tonight that neither have won.
Yeah. That's going to knock out a lot of pick 5 and pick 4 tickets. I mean, there's going to be a lot of tickets that's singled, and you know, you were talking about it, Sean.
45% had the 5.
Yeah.
Let's see what percent had the 1. If you had Big Nick, 22%. So that's a great thing. And convention, if you had him, 6%. So,
yeah, I was part of the 6%, so that's big for me.
Oh, that's great for you then. Absolutely.
Yeah, I used the 5 too, so but yeah, it gets me back in it big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, somebody just pulled the plug on El Hombre. Take you off the life support. He can't afford it anymore.
He's heading to the pawn shop with his kids' toys.
Right, you got to feed the kids.
I was trying to will that 5 in second for him. I really was.
And
that's
why the 4 got up. Is it?
There's the line right there.
I'm just I'm quiet because I'm trying to go through and see who I can at least see who's still alive in the pick 5. So I know we had Jimmy Johnson, who earlier went thick in the first and got the 1 there through. DJ had the 156 there, so DJ was through. El Hombre's complaining about his exacta, but he's okay because he's through on his pick 5. I see Marv is through on his pick 5, and I am as well. So if I missed anybody, we love to follow along with you and cheer you guys home. So please throw your chat in there at this point if you are still through on the pick 5. Don't jump away though, because we are going to be giving you a time. We're going to go through, give our thoughts on race 5, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the voting, as they say, and I'm going to give you a specific time to give us your winner of race 5.
I got a question, by the way, for the class. If they pulled the plug on El Hombre, how can he still be alive in the pick 5? You see what I'm saying there?
Well, he's got to get through it.
Oh, well, he's alive though, but he's
dead. He's
dead, but he's alive.
There you go. Dennis will be here all week. Please try the meatloaf.
Yeah, meatloaf.
Dennis should be cheering that Alombre recovers because he's the reason he's in the hospital from last week's 25-1.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Alex, throw your pick 5 in the chat so we can so I can star it and have it as we continue on through the night. And if there's anybody else I missed, please dive in. So we go race 5. My top pick was number 4, Not Afraid. I love the early speed that I'm getting on the number 4.
Yes,
I love the Tarasenko stays aboard. I love the success here at Assiniboia Downs, racing 16 times and winning 9 of those. Now, the concern would be the fact that their last race was a claiming 7,500, and you'd say, well, don't be concerned because that's what this race is. But the concern is that you got horses like the 1 and the 2 who are dropping down from allowance optional claimers, so they're getting the class relief, and those horses have been running against horses that are running in the Derby later, Warriors Map, Exchequer, and Explosive. The other horse that I was interested in was the number 2, Last Renegade. I like the jockey change here, and I like that class drop, and this horse is going to be sitting off the pace. So for me, it would be the 4 and the 2. If I had to pick one on top for me to win the hat, my choice would be the 4. Keith, where were you?
Yeah, I actually originally I had the 4 on top, but I have the 4 second here, and I'll explain why. I mean, I do see the pace advantage for Not Afraid. I just was slightly concerned about the extra half furlong. I know that this horse has been, dominating and, on the front end. If you look at the running lines, I mean, once the horse gets the lead, is gone, basically. But if the horse, doesn't get the lead, sometimes it could be, not win the race. But I thought I was a little concerned about the extra half furlong. So I'm going to go with the 5 on top here, actually, Little Toe. Just with this horse, let me just pull this up here for you, is I like how this horse is just getting a little bit of a freshening from July 3rd. I know it came back with a small work after that, but I think it's the type that actually didn't fade too badly in the races here at ASD this meet, and just been first, second, third there. Doesn't have to be right on the lead. So if the 4 for some reason maybe gets tired at the end, the 5 could be right there. So I'm gonna take a shot with that 5, and then for all the points you guys said about the 4, just the speed and being up front is gonna be tough. And then I looked at the 1, Ethan's Animal for 3rd here, and we got basically just needs to work out a trip from the 1 post. I told myself actually tonight I didn't really want to bet too many horses from the 1 post unless maybe that last one in the Derby. But as far as I like Ethan Animal to kind of run into the exact cutting back to 6 furlongs may help with that. So I like the 1 for an underneath play.
And to my knowledge, there's been no jinx on the one from the 7 furlong mile distance. You know what I'm saying? So that will, that will help.
Yeah, I gave the 3 a little bit of a look too, maybe for 4th. Yeah.
Who'd you like, Sean?
Who'd I play? Yeah, I was with you. I was with the 4. I'm Not Afraid. I just like the way, if you look at this race, I know the 1 and the 2 are dropping down as well, but the 4 just ran. I like the way that Tarasenko rides this horse. He just rides him with ultimate confidence. I watched a couple of his replays. The race against Del Vecchio and Noah, that he's not going to beat that group. That group was way too tough. They tried, they were ambitious, and he just gave way. But to Keith's point, obviously he's got to get the lead and he's got to stay, or obviously he doesn't finish. So if you're a 4, it's boom or bust. Either he gets out there. I'm a little worried about the 5 in the fact that he can run a 46, a 22, just like him. So it'd be interesting. But I was 4, 2, like you with Bino, and I think this race does set up quite nicely for the 2. cutting back in the distance, and then the 5. So I was 4, 2, 5.
You could tell me and Sean hung out all weekend. We're all on the same horses. Dennis, where are you?
Yep.
For me, this race, I'm going long shot Denison, as you all called it, LSD. Which is so freaking stupid funny of a name. I'm actually going to bet 2 horses to win in place. So I'm on the number 6, Lucky Luke, who was beaten favorite last time off the claim. Only beat by a head. And, well, I think he's got some solid runs in there, right? So the 6, Lucky Luke. That's one of my 2 horses. So I'm betting that horse to win in place. Now I'm really getting crazy. 7 horse Gold Special. The last 2 efforts were major improvement looking back into the old Assiniboia Downs form from him. Off the claim as well. Was also beaten favorite 2 races ago for a lower level but similar company. I think we'll actually. I hope the horse gets back into that Assiniboia Downs speed figures that they had last year. But I'm going price hunting here with 2 total bonds in the 6 and the 7 winning place on both. Because if one of them gets there, I'm getting paid.
Yeah, and the 4 is currently 4 to 5, so heavy favorite out of at least in the early going here. All right, so we are going to open up the betting, and we want you in the chat to put in race 5 and the 1 horse that you think will win. And what we will do at the end is, if you are correct, we will do a drawing, and 2 people out of that will win a Assiniboia Downs hat. So please, the polls are open, as they say.
Polls are open. Yes.
I will start. Nice. I will start the comments as they start coming through. I've already got the people that have put them in, so no need, if you already wrote your pick in the chat, to enter it again. I got you. I've been following along. And if you've got a thought on race 5 for who will win in the center, Oakwood Cowboy. Race 5, put that up in the chat, and we will get you an Assiniboia's hat. Todd is going to, so Joe is going with 2. Frank is going with the 4, and maybe one of you guys, Keith, maybe you could keep your eye on the chat, and if I miss any, I'm going to call them out as they're coming through.
Yep.
Right, cool. We got.
Tony's going with the 9, right? The wire 9. Frank Payne 4. Rodney the 8. Gizmo the 2.
Right. Welcome, Gizmo. I don't recognize your name.
Yep, Gizmo's been, welcome back, Gizmo.
Right. Great. So we got all those. Yeah. And you can play along.
Arthur's on the 5. My 5. So nice, Arthur. Good luck.
5, 3, 7, 12, 4. I thought we was holding out random numbers.
All right. We got Keith Bush is on the 4 here.
Welcome, Keith. I see Keith a lot on Twitter. I know Matt was friendly with Keith. I haven't met him personally, but nice to have you around. Sylvian, nice to meet you as well. Thanks so much.
Sylvian.
El Hombre's on the 5. Let's see. Tim Hughes is on the 4.
Phil Ombre wins. He's got to send the Trust the Prophet hats to someone else. So
we're not allowed to play. Yeah.
That'll be the trade-off.
We got Trisha is on the 4.
Gizmo, you're out of that one. No second choice. Trisha. Welcome, Trisha. A big follower of our show. She's here every week.
Hey, Trish.
Welcome.
How are you, my friend? Great to see you.
A great chance for us to also say hello to the names that we don't always see in here. So if you just joined in, I just saw the number go up. Please put who you like in race 5 in the chat. You will win. If you are right, we'll put you in a raffle for an Assiniboia Downs hat. 2 people will win And Dan's going with the 8, Mark Ye Well. So I see a lot of people picking the 8, who was the morning line favorite. You're now getting him at 5-1. So if you liked the 8, from a stable standpoint, not necessarily what you want to see, but you're getting a price if you like Mark Ye Well.
Yeah.
Welcome, Dare Calder Piemonte. Sorry if I butchered that.
Yeah.
I think I had you earlier with the 4. Let me double check. Yes, I got you there. So you're in.
All right, cool.
Okay. Who's leading? I'm
Hello.
looking.
Sean Alombre wants to know who's leading the $1,000 winner take all game. You guys keep putting the names in the chat.
Right.
Sean will look that up for us.
Yep, I'm gonna look that up for us.
Keith, are
Race
you in
4
it?
is still pending. So
Yeah.
after race 3, El Hombre was in first with 220. Killick 206. Foolish Pleasure wins 175. Z Runners 166. Still running 152. Smiley Face 128. Cross the line 120. I'm in 10th with 106.
Wow.
Fresh start. And Matt is in 17th, but he's only used 4 horses. So he's the late closer. Late closer. If you did that at Saratoga this weekend, you were a dead duck. But hopefully Matt is going to buck that trend tonight. Exactly. So, yeah.
You know, I think I'm gonna make a statement here too from something over the weekend that I seen, and this might be totally wrong. So clip it just in case I'm wrong and rub it in my face. I'm gonna make a statement. I think Red Route 1 will win the Pennsylvania Derby. I know we're a little ways away, but
he could.
Who?
I think that's a pretty. I think he's late blooming.
Yeah, it was,
he's one pace, and I don't know if that's going to be good enough at Penn. At Philly,
Route 1.
You know what I'm saying? That usually isn't won by a one pace horse. You know?
No, it's not. But I don't know. I think he's learning slowly how to get faster instead of being one pace. I think he's slowly getting there.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw that out there because I didn't want to sound, I would rather say it at a little break in the show before we get into some serious business with the Manitoba Derby and everything.
Yeah. There you go.
Don't get him started, Trish. Save that for Thursday. That's the lounge. That's the lounge conversations. We try to keep it clean on Monday nights. Tune in Thursday, and El Hombre will give you pictures, and maybe he'll still even be on them. That would be great.
Stories that will blow your mind. Exactly.
Oh my gosh! I thought you were going to say tune in Thursday, and El Hombre's going to give you some.
No, he'll still be on them, so you can get it live and in the flesh.
You will have some stories. Yep. Exactly.
Wow, I moved up 70 spots in the last 2 races, so I'm getting there a little slowly but surely.
Well, you had the horses that were low percentage, so you managed your way through some races where people actually, surprisingly, to only have 9% have Gallant Oak was that's surprising to me.
Because I thought, now at least I know it's a 7-5 favorite, but with all those seconds, I mean, you didn't want to settle for a second, but not that bad for a big night like this, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember, if you haven't put your selection in for race 5 yet, there are the call to the post. The jockeys are up. Your 4 is your even money favorite right now at even money, and the 2 is 6-1 for those of us that like the 6. If you liked the 8, you're getting 5-1, and for those of you that want to follow Keith with Little Toe, you're getting 7-1. Yeah, and if you look at Trusty with the 6 and the 7, you're getting some horses in the 20-1 range. So here on Trust the Profits, here is a race where we talked about it being wide open. I thought the 4 morning line at 4-1 would not necessarily be even money. Apparently people saw it as I did, but with so many different opinions, this is why we selected this race for a chance to win.
Yes.
The hat, because we felt that it was fairly wide open. So we'll give you the post parade if you are trying to make a last decision minute. Again, the number 1 is Ethan's Animal. That's a horse that's dropping down. Raced against Manodoro last time, a horse that you'll see later on. Also, lost to Gallant Oak and Monstradamus in the last two races. In the last race. So those two horses we've seen tonight have success. Maybe something you want to pay attention to. The 2 was Last Brigade. We talked about 3 Roaming Union. Number 4 is Not Afraid. That was the Timothy Tarasenko horse who's increasing in speed figures, is going to be out early. Number 5 is Little Toe, a horse that lost to the number 8 last time out. This is a horse that in the chat many are on and Keith likes as well. Your 6 is Lucky Luke, a horse that Dennis said has shown some run the last couple of times. He's putting win to place on the number 6. The number 7 is Gold Special. That's Trusty's long shot play of the day, currently sitting at 21-1. Marquee Well is 8 for 30 at the distance, coming out of a claiming race last time. Loses by no for Neville Stephenson. And the last horse in the race is Gone Somewhere, who last time lost to Lab Rat. Lab Rat is a horse that we saw Lab Rat already. Yes, Lab Rat ran in race 3, but didn't do much to my recollection. So that's your field. If we haven't gotten your selection, you're running out of time. We're 3 minutes to post. I know it's not 2.5 million, but it's all we can afford tonight on the Assiniboia Downs Trust the Profits live stream. So let me start a few more of these.
By the way, Frank asked a question. Who is Larry Kizik? He's a trainer from Massanovia. He has not had a start this year, but he was training last year at Assiniboia Downs. But this is his first start of the year, so interesting that this is on the 8, the morning line favorite.
Yeah. You know, one thing I do like about the 8, I did use this horse on my pick sheet as like a logical horse. You always get the same run from this horse. It's a 10-year-old, and it's off the claim. I think it's a pretty good claim because the horse just constantly does the exact same thing over and over and over again. So I think the 8, at least you know what you're going to get with that horse.
Yeah. It's a 10-year-old, too. Amazing.
Yep.
I don't think in New York that 10-year-olds can't run anymore. So this is, you don't get to see too many of them left. So you got to enjoy it.
I'm not crazy about 8, 9, and 10-year-olds for sure. I usually fade them, especially, if I've seen a big race from them in the last 2 or 3 races. I just always think it's hard for them to repeat it, so I tend to fade them. But we'll see. 2 minutes to post for race 5 at Assiniboia Downs. Let's check in on the announcers and who they like. Stick around to see who wins the hat for race 6. I will pick the sleepy time pick tonight in race 6 because I don't want to do it on the Manitoba Derby. It feels a little not the right way to go. So race 6, we will find a sleepy time pick tonight. Stretch likes the 2 and the 3 and the 8. So he likes the 2 that me and Sean like.
So we're going to bed early tonight, as I hear, I guess.
Got to stay up for the Manitoba Derby, Trusty. The first leg of the Western Canadian Triple Crown. There's a $100,000 bonus if a horse can win all 3. This is a new Triple Crown up in Canada. And wow, what an idea of adding, a new kind of series. That's why we want to support this, because I think this is a great idea. I heard someone talking at the spa this weekend about doing it for 4-year-olds, and maybe this will increase breeding and keeping horses running if we try a Triple Crown for 4-year-olds, say.
Yeah, I like that.
So what's the series? So this is the first leg, and then where do they go, to Hastings, or is that what it is? Or?
They used to back in the day. This is where they got away from it. This is one of the Sean stories I know, but what do you call it? They used to have it where if you won the Dawn, then you went to Pimlico and won the Pimlico Special, then you went to Suffolk and won the Mass Cap. There was like a bonus, for the older horses who got the most points in that series. I would love them to see them do that again. Get those races where you run the series and you keep running, and
Yeah.
Jimmy says, now I agree with Colin, which makes me think he doesn't agree with me a lot, which is probably accurate because I know he's a strong handicapper. So Cindy talks about V's Dream, who believes one is a 12-year-old. Frank, the 3 has been trained by Steve Asmussen and Mark Cassie.
Yep.
That
And
is
Roman
Roman
too.
Union.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Now, how about Kurt and Stretch actually don't even have the 4 in their top 3 picks, which is interesting to me.
Wow.
Very interesting.
All
right.
And that's exactly what we thought, right? This looked like the most wide open race. And Trusty mentioned earlier that race 6 looks quite difficult as well. So I see the numbers going up. If you haven't put who you like to win in race 5 in the chat, please do it. We're going to pull a raffle if you are correct for an Assiniboia Downs hat. So if we haven't gotten your picks yet, please throw it in the chat now. And we'll make sure that we mark them down as they make their way
to the
post.
Well,
Any
so I
last
think you're
minute thoughts,
Yeah.
Sarah? Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I made a case for the 5. Like you said, I think it's a wide open race. I really think, I still think the race does go through the 4 and that big speed in the beginning. Just slightly concerned about the extra distance. So with the big field, so it's going to be a very competitive race. You could see a price pop up here. I also looked at the 9 a little bit, and I saw that it was actually Kurt's top pick. So this horse has been running well. I mean, other than the July 3rd race, been consistently in the money. So maybe at a slightly lower level, but
this is one of those levels, Keith, like you say, and it's so true, right? You have every right to that extra half furlong. We'll know in like the first couple of steps, is the 4 by himself? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like at this level, some horses don't break alertly, like if the 4 doesn't break alertly, he's most likely done. But if someone else doesn't and he gets the lead by himself, you know what I'm saying? It's just interesting,
Yeah.
at this level,
Yeah. And the track tonight's been playing a little bit from off the pace winners, but this 4 is going to come out like a rocket. So we'll see.
It is, yeah.
Welcome, Onyx, a new name to the show. Austin Bird, you are in the hat giveaway with the 8. Welcome, Austin, another name I don't recognize. So we're glad to have you along here.
Welcome. Yeah, we got 60
Joe believes the
people watching.
CWs are going to hammer the 4. So here we go. We're going to throw it up to Assiniboia Downs for race number 5. You got one last minute here to get your picks in for the hat giveaway. Let's throw it up to Kurt.
It's his spot. The even money favorite, Not Afraid, goes in.
Good
Next
luck,
up,
David.
Little Toe. Lucky Luke walks up and in. Now Gold Special. Just 2 left to load. Marquee Well. And waiting on Gone Somewhere to the outside. Marquee Well a little fractious.
That's strange to see a 10-year-old not want to go into the gate. It's like, we've done this a million times.
Set. They're at the post. And they're off. Breaking a little slow was Marquee Well. From the inside, Not Afraid. Joe's good early speed, but matched by Little Toe in between horses. 3 wide, Lucky Luke also putting on pressure, settled in behind. That's going to be Last Renegade and Gone Somewhere. 3 more lengths back to Marquee Well, and behind them by 2, Ethan's Animal, Roaming Union, and well back to Gold Special. 22 and 3, the opening quarter. Not Afraid, still up by 3/4 of a length. Little Toe back to second. Making a move up the fence, that's Last Renegade. Marquee Well looking for a seam. 45 and 3.
Wow.
And Not Afraid, putting on a show right now, is up by 4, coming to the 16th pole. Not Afraid, Last Renegade with the late charge.
Get up 2.
But it's all Not Afraid. Last Renegade in second. Blanket finish for third between Marquee Well, Gone Somewhere, and Lucky Luke.
Wow.
Nolan, you and I had the exact thing.
There you have it. Your 4-5 favorite, 4-1 morning one. What'd you say, Sean?
Yeah.
You and I had the exacta.
I think we actually had to try
Okay.
because the 6, I
Look
think,
at
got
that.
third.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at
All
that
over
right
that
there.
race.
Boom.
Oh,
There you go.
Wire to wire.
Crushed it.
Only winners. Only winners. We're still in the lounge. We're still in the lounge's
Yeah.
theme here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only winners on Monday
Only
night.
winners. Yep, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, the 5 tried to, I guess go with the 4 and just 4 just said,
I
see you
think
later.
I think too he did a very smart thing there. He knew how much ground he had. I think he kind of eased up the 4 a little. I think the 2 got a little closer there. The jockey knew where he was and where the line was, Especially as you said, keep that extra furlong,
Yeah.
Don't overextend them,
Yeah.
So I think
It
the
would've
2
been
made it a
great.
little bit closer than it really was,
It's gonna cost me like 5 points in stable duel with the how close I got at the end.
Yeah. Well, I'm noticing now too. There's almost like a shift in the track. Early on it was performance for closers, but now it's like these horses have already just flipped a switch. This 4 went wire to wire. Last race, the 1 and 5 was pretty close, I guess, the entire time too, right? So.
Yeah. Also remember too, Dennis, this is very important, especially up in Canada. Okay, when it's daylight up there, especially like even with Woodbine Mohawk, the fastest times are always in the day. It's not at night. They're not the fastest. You mean that like the fastest time may be in the daylight when it's warmer. When it gets a little bit colder, the times go a little bit down, and then the track can change a little bit.
And that's a good point there, Sean, because I like, and this is totally off topic, but I like NASCAR, like stock car racing, and what they say is so if they're doing a night race, when it first starts and the sun is out, it's loose, and then as the night goes on, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and it makes them slow down. So that's a very good point. I completely agree with that sentiment as well.
And look at this, the luck, Brianna Mott once again cleaning house, and had the 6 to show.
There we go.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even Chow. Exactly. She knows how to pick them.
How much did that trifecta pay? Because like I said, we kind of gave that out. You had the 4, the 2, and then I had the 6. That trial
it's not bad for 20 cents. We got $8.46.
I got to realize, I guess the 4 was a heavy favorite. So, yeah, not too terrible.
Not terrible.
All right, very good. So we now can, I'll read off who I have as having the 4 for the hat giveaway. I have Bobby D, Dare, Frank, Keith Bush, Tim, Trisha, Raphael, and Malathat. So those are the 8 people that that I have. If I've missed anybody, please throw it in the chat now. Someone's gonna have to go back and verify if you had it and we missed it. I'm going to.
There was Rafael Lopez.
I got Rafael. Yep.
All right. I'm just going through if there's anybody at all.
Here's your payouts for race number 5. Not Afraid pays $360. Last Renegade gets second for $420. Bree gets Lucky Luke for the show at $390. Your 4-2 Exacta pays $760. Your Dollar Try pays $42.30. And your Superfector for $1 pays $218 for the evens. 2468, baby. All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to enter these names into a drawing of some sort. I'll have to Google it. And you guys, why don't you start with your thoughts on race number 6, or you talk about whatever you want to. I'm just going to need a couple minutes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I know we were touching on this race earlier. We had a big field, and I know Dennis, you were kind of on this one. I'm going with your 3 though, Sean. Just from some of the points I made earlier. Just guess this horse is second time now with the jockey riding, and I was saying before, I just think that maybe second time this jockey will actually know not to be as far back and kind of just be a little bit more up close with a nicer post. And I just think the cutback too helps. So early betting board shows the 3 as the favorite. So I like the 3 on top here, and then I couldn't ignore the 1 Jeff Fafa. And as many of you guys have been watching this entire meet, and this horse just it's been in great form. I think it's a little tougher waters here with the 1 post, so I was a little concerned about that. And just good cycle for this horse though, but kind of using more for an underneath. And then I was interested in Stay Happy, you were mentioning before. With I know it's been a short price favorite at this level. Hasn't gotten the job done, but it's been running well, and I think can be competitive. And 8-1 morning line is enticing. I think a lot of stable duel players actually use this horse. It's a little concerned with the outside post also, so I kind of was zeroing on the 3. It's actually for stable duel. I skipped this race, so I kind of. Just bypassed. I used the 1 and the 3 in the last, so I'm kind of in a position that I could hopefully cash in this big stable duel if I can get a little lucky here with skipping this race. So I think there's an art to kind of skipping the races, the correct races. So we'll see. It's could pop up and pay a price here too. So what did you think, Sean, in this race?
I was on the 3. Keplin's just been amazing all meet. 9 wins, 9 seconds, 4 thirds. I mean, the guy's just been all over the money. Shadi is, as you said, coming in much easier here, dropping down. I know when you say he's over 2 at the distance. 1 was at turf, and both were at Turfway Park. I mean, so on poly track. So I'm not gonna go crazy about that. In terms of and like his workouts. Again, that has been doing some workouts and just been running solidly. And I think, as you said, Shadi keeps him a little bit closer to the thing, and then that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you?
Awesome.
Dennis?
So we have our
we have our winners.
Oh, okay, cool.
We have our raffle ready.
All right.
Okay.
We got to. You just gotta give me a second where I can. It's named the Travers because that's the last time we actually used this wheel. So let's see. Hopefully, you guys can see the Wheel of Destiny.
Right, here it is.
Here we go.
All right. So we got Raphael, Trisha, Tim, Keith, Frank, Dare, Bobby, and Malathat. So I don't think anybody else chimed in that we missed you. So that's what we're going to go with. I have to admit, this is totally random, but I'm cheering for Malathat. It's Malathat's birthday. So this would be a great birthday for Malathat. So here we go. We ready? We ready for spin one?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ooh, wow.
Tim Hughes.
Tim Hughes.
Nice.
Rig. No.
Way to go, Tim Hughes.
Tim Hughes gets
Congrats.
Tim Hughes gets our first hat. He is taken out of the wheel. And we will spin again. Here we go.
Dare.
Oh, well done, Dare.
Well done, Dare.
It's awesome to have someone new. So Tim Hughes and Dare. Tim, I know you have me on Twitter, so just message me. We'll get your address, and we will get you your hat.
Yeah.
And Dare, I don't know if you have me on Twitter or if you have Bree Mott on Twitter or Stable Duel on Twitter. Let us know in the chat, and you can private message me on Twitter, and I'll get your address, and we will get that hat out to you. So congratulations to the winners, both for picking the winner in that race and then for also winning the Wheel of Destiny.
Yes, congratulations to both.
Awesome.
And I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, on your birthday, exactly.
Yeah,
Now that I'm gonna get you a Trust the Prophets hat for your birthday. So can you message me on Twitter as well? We'll send you we'll send you something because we know you're a big fan and you're always in here, and we want to recognize your birthday. So hit me up on Twitter. We'll get you a hat or shirt.
Happy birthday, Mel, definitely.
It's my birthday too. What do I give for that? No.
Oh, you're paying. You're paying for
you get a whole
hat.
bunch of orchids.
Let me see your license.
orchids.
Yeah.
You're paying for Melthat's hat. Actually, I didn't tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. So before Keith was telling me who did I like here, so I know Jeffa is my top pick, and I understand that horse is 5-2, and I think deserves to be. I think there's good value with that horse. So I'm going to bet that horse to win. I thought about taking Mr. Dazzle as a winning place, and then I'm also going to do an exacta 1-9-10 with the 1-3-9-10, and I'm scared of the 3 beating me out completely, since that's basically who both Colin and Keith and wait a minute. I forget who likes what. 2 people on the stream at least likes the 3. There we go.
Yeah, I like the 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me, Keith, and I. Yeah, and I think Colin, do you like the 3 too, or no?
I added the 3 on my pick 5 because of you guys. I liked the 7 was my top pick, and let's go back and check my cap in the card from Thursday. I believe I was 7-5. I thought that the 1, 2, 6, 10 are all going to go, and I'm going to use maybe some of the horses that will be close but coming from off the pace. So there you go. I was Real Grace, which is your 7, and Pray for Peace, which is your 5. 7 is 3-1, and your 5 is 10-1. So that would be not too bad of a horse to get home at this point. We're going to bring you the paddock look because it's that time of the night. As we get late into the evening on Monday night, I give you a totally useless look at the paddock, and I decide which horse looks sleepy, which is meant to be a horse that you want to fade, the horse that looks like maybe they just don't want to be there. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So we're going to get you a sleepy time pick here in race 9. I think we were 4 for 4 in the sleepy time pick until 2 horses beat us. That was Sugar Daddy Jack and High Terrain Jane, but we've made a comeback. We've now gone 2 weeks in a row where our fade horse, in fact, last week's fade horse was the best pick I've ever made because I don't even think the horse definitely was last or second to last.
Yeah, just faded beyond fade. Yep.
Right.
So a little fun. It's also I love people. People are great handicappers, and we work with a ton of them both on this stream and the chat and the show. part of the horse racing is also just fun, and it's what
It
horse
is.
looks sleepy, what name do you like, what number do you like, and there's so many
Yeah.
people that I met this weekend who it was their first time at the track, and it was I like this horse because of the name, I like this horse because of the number. Well, two looks a little head down. Brody's streak's looking a little muddy, but I don't like to give 40 to ones because that's not a great
Right.
a great sleepy time pick. So we'll keep our eye out on it. How are we doing in stable duel, Keith? Did you get through that leg and move yourself, continue on that forward progress?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I mean, I had Not Afraid, and then I had the 9 I used as a kind of like a long shot. I think the 9 came in 5th, so I'm kind of hoping
Good job,
for a
bud.
few
That's
positive
awesome.
points. Not bad. So then I actually skipped this race. I was saying. So then I got the I got the 1 in the Manitoba Derby, and then I got the 3 I was talking about. So kind of hoping that I could even hit the exacta there in the Manitoba Derby. That would hopefully put me in the money, but I think we're still a little ways away from that.
And I know you just said we hate giving out long shots as a sleeping pick, but boy, oh boy, that full horse might need to be named the Pillow because he looks tired. I mean, I know he's 40 to 1, but goodness, he looks tired.
And I missed when I first turned on the stream, there was the horse with the blanket over him, and that would have been an easy sleepy time pick, but they took it off, and now I don't know who it was. It might have been the 7.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be good for my pick 5, but a sleepy time pick with the blanket on is fitting. We'll see. We'll keep our eye on here for you. From a handicapping standpoint, as I said, I was interested in this 7. I thought the speed figures were certainly competitive in here, and I love that this horse was always close. We're at this race going 6 furlongs. I circled the second to last call for Real Grace, which was a second, third, second, all basically within a length or a neck. So I have confidence that the 7 is going to be in the mix, and that's been a place where you wanted to be tonight so far, is forwardly placed.
So yeah, I actually I am heading to Saratoga this weekend. So
That's
for the 4-star
exciting,
days.
huh?
So
Have
yeah,
a
I'm looking
great
forward
time.
to it. Thank you. Yeah, haven't made it up this summer, and had to work this past weekend, and but I'm glad I'm able to make it up, and hopefully meet some some of the viewers out there too. I know a lot of people were there this weekend, but yeah, it's always nice to get to the spa for the summer.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never been to Saratoga. I really need to go. You guys are making it worse on me, and worse and worse and worse.
Just sell those orchids.
That's it.
That's the key. Just sell those
Keep
orchids.
selling them, Dennis. That'll get you to Ohio at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
You can maybe make it to like a horseshoe, or if you sell enough orchids.
Yeah. That's another track I have yet to been to is Horseshoe.
Yeah, well, you're probably only a couple hours away from there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, really less than that. I don't know why I haven't been yet. I don't know.
And you're probably pretty close to Ellis too, right? 2 hours away.
Oh yeah, I don't want to go to Ellis though. Listen. We're not going to be here trying to bash tracks on Trusted Profits. And Ellis follows me on Twitter, so I can't really be mad at them. It's
well,
too
you better
high.
be careful. You're going to get unfollowed, Dennis.
Yeah, exactly. It's too high. It's just too high.
Right.
We'll send you to Arlington.
Well, yeah, that would be a lot better at least. At least they got air conditioning, at least last I checked. I don't think Ellis does.
Well, Keith, you have an awesome time this weekend for sure, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah. I saw some of the probables. It looks like some Annapolis and Emmanuel. Some of the Pletcher horses are going to be there. So yeah, should be good.
They're on the track for race 6.
Yeah, I got my sleepy time pick. It's going to be a little bit longer of a shot, which I don't It's not a favorite to fade, but when he comes up here in the post parade, I'll bring him up for you all. So stand by for that. And then we're going to dive into the 75th running of the Manitoba Derby.
Yeah. They're out on the track now, Colin, so.
Yeah, here it comes. I'm going to bring him up when he walks by. We're getting close. So tonight's Sleepy Time fade pick of the night is number 8.
Oh.
Number 8, Courageous.
Oh, they get Courageous.
Really sluggish, walking slow. Got the white froth between the legs. The 8 is a horse that I would fade tonight in race 6.
You just put him in the winner's circle, Colin.
So we'll see how that
with you.
makes out.
I'm just kidding.
It's happened. Probably Trusty's top pick.
Yeah, that's the get out best long shot of the whole year. No, I'm kidding. No, that's a good pick. I like the pick there for the fade. And you know what? I think if that horse wins, you have to do something now. I think you just have to do something small, like maybe take hot sauce and eat it or something, or something easy. So think of something. We'll think of something.
Yeah, no fear factor stuff up here. I'm not like a daredevil type of guy. I don't want to be eating bugs or
something easy.
Sticking my hands in piles of snakes. Bobby's going with the exact 3.579 over the 5.79. I don't think any of us could argue with those selections. It was similar to what we were on.
Yeah.
Tim likes the 1 over the 3.610. Jeff Fafa has been your consistent favorite. In fact, the last 7 races, Jeff Fafa has gone off as your favorite. So,
Jeff Fafa.
Yeah, it's funny when Kurt actually calls this horse, like he really yells it out, like Jeff Fafa.
The Jeff Dunham. That's a Jeff Dunham reference.
Yep.
And he's currently 5-2, so I'll be sweating him. Jimmy Johnson giving out tips for tomorrow, race 8 at Horseshoe. While you're there, Trustee, after you've sold your orchids, you can go up and bet Peggy's Way to make your way back home. So bet Peggy's Way. 3rd on debut to a Cox and Asmussen. None of those in here. Smash that like button as we get ready for the 75th race, 75th running of the Manitoba Derby, your first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. We are now 2 minutes to post. I'm going to give out who is alive in the pick 5. Thank you, Trisha. Great segue for me. I have Jimmy Johnson as still being alive.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, I apologize. Hold on. What number was the last race? The 4?
5. Race 5.
Yeah, the 4 got through. So Jimmy had the 4. DJ is through. He had the 4 in the last. He goes 1, 3, 10 here. El Hombre made it through. He's on the 1 and the 3 here, so he goes skinny. Nice. Marv Beatty, I have alive as single to the 1, so he was on Jeff Fafa. And me, myself, and I got through as well with the 4. I have the 3, 5, 7 here on my pick 5. And the only other one I saw alive was Rodney. So good luck to Rodney, who is alive to quite a few here. So you're looking good with the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and the 10. So I hope, for goodness sake, the Sleepy Time pick doesn't beat you, Rodney, because you've got just about everyone else covered. So you're in good shape. Kurt is on the 6, and Stretch is on the 7.
There you go.
Yeah, I was looking at the double probables, and obviously the 1 in the Derby's the favorite. It's interesting that the 7 in this race is taking a good amount of double money to the 1, so it's just $9 for $1, and the 1 and the 3 are $8 for $1. And your Sleepy Time pick is the biggest probable at $178 for $1.
They're heading towards the
Good luck,
gate.
Alex. I don't have your ticket, so I missed it if you put it in. Throw it in there again, and I'll grab it. So we have it. They are approaching the gate. We are happy to bring the races to you live with calls. We have a Classic 5-5 here going. I got to bring that back as well. So we need somebody here to throw out a ice cold Classic High Five. Matt 2 weeks ago nearly nailed it. Sean last week also nearly nailed it. So we're gonna go Keith this.
Too. I don't want to say nothing, but I also nearly nailed it as well. Me and Sean had the same numbers, so we could have boxed it and got it together. Not being braggadocious here, but no.
All right, Keith, we need an ice cold high five for the Classic High Five growing up at Assiniboia Downs.
All right. Yeah, I like the 3 on top, so I'm gonna go. I'll go 3, 7, 1, 6, 10.
3, 7, 1, 6, 10 is a total just ice cold Classic High Five. Another thing we like to have fun on as the night gets late and we start losing our voices and falling asleep.
Maybe I should put that in.
We'll get a shot of it. Oh, there you go. Play it. I don't know that anybody's played it. Maybe that's what we need. Mouth that I want to call it before the race. I put Buffalo in here, even though it doubled my pick 5 price. Let's go for 35 to 1. Mouth that you will have a very good birthday.
Yeah.
In's coming in hot. Putting $100 on 6. Trump 'em.
Wow.
I was gonna say right at the wire, right at the wire said he's also alive in the pick 5 as well. I didn't know if
I need his ticket. I need his ticket. Tell him to put his right. Alex, throw your. He said he posted it twice. I'm sorry. I have a lot to keep up with, so just throw it in now and I'll grab it. Dare's giving us an ice cold. All right, let's throw it up to Assiniboia Downs for the call of race 6, and then we will be bringing you live coverage of the 75th Manitoba Derby.
Goes in.
Yes.
Good luck.
Pray for Peace's turn. Trumpum goes in. Real Grace is next. Next up, Courageous. Just 2 left to load. Mr. Dazzle. And just waiting on Stay Happy to the outside. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off. Quickly on the outside, Stay Happy. Showing some speed, as is Real Grace. On the inside, Jafafa goes out and makes it 3 across. Settled back in 4th. Brody's Streak. Trump him to the outside. Also within contention. That's going to be Pray for Peace. Explosive on the rail. Another length back. That's Mr. Dazzle trying to rally. And your trailers, El Maestro and Courageous. 22 seconds, the opening quarter. Jafafa with the lead by a length and a half. In between horses, Real Grace, Brody's Streak on the rail. They turn for home, and Jafafa, 44-3. Sizzling on the front end. This is all Jafafa, who's gonna get it done. Brody Streak second best. Third's gonna go to Real Grace. 4th, To pray for peace.
There we go.
What was he doing with the 3? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even put him in the race. I don't even understand how that would,
Just so far back and just
Yeah.
inside and I don't even know if he asked. So
No, I think what we're seeing is this kid is this a big night. That's the one thing when using an experienced jockey is the big nights can get too big for them,
Yeah.
But what an effort by Jeff Fafa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that 44 at Assiniboia, that's flying. That's not like 44 at Del Mar or Saratoga. No, that's
flying.
Rolling.
Yeah, you could hear it in Kurt's voice, and I had my concerns about the post, and this horse just took another step forward now. So I mean, from the whole meet right now, this horse has been just on fire every single time I've seen him run. So Connections must be so happy.
Is someone like Brody Streak there? I thought someone like Brody Streak. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think the 2 got second. Yeah.
Nice
I
pick
didn't
in
have it,
1981.
Well, I was right about the 10 being 5th. I should have just queued that horse 5th and then just put the wall up on my super.
Yeah, had a good win bet on the 1 at least. So
Jeff
right.
Good job, Dennis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, 5-2 is good.
Yeah. And did drift down to 2-1. I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to get 9-5 or 8-5, but drifted back up, so I'll take it.
I get knocked out by Jeff Fafa. So of the remaining tickets here in the chat for the pick 5, I'm the only one that didn't survive, unfortunately. Rodney's alive to the 1 and 5 for the pick 5 and the pick 4. So hopefully we get some nice payouts there. Although getting some favorites coming through, and if you've got the 1 in the last, that's going to be maybe a little bit tough because Heroic Move is the favorite. For sure.
I forgot who posted this. I think his name was Marv something, and I can't remember. I'm sorry. He singled Jeff Fafa in that race.
Yeah.
That was a great call.
Look at that. Yeah.
Very nice.
So he's alive to some coverage there. Or is he knocked out?
He's good. He's through to the 158.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Nice ticket structure, yeah.
El Hombre's alive to the 13510.
Yeah, we got to see these will pays then. Yeah.
DJ is alive to the 1 and the 5. Jimmy Johnson singled to Heroic Move in the last. And as we mentioned, Rodney's alive to the 1 and 5. And then Alex, I still haven't found your ticket. I've been looking. So I'm sorry. There's too much chats in there for me to keep up, so I don't have it yet. I apologize if you made it through with Jeff Fafa. Jeff Fafa knocks me out, unfortunately, but that's okay. Welcome, Armchair, as we start to get ready.
There he is.
Going now. What's going on?
How are you, my friend?
Big race of the night. We got some people alive here in the pick 5. We've given away swag. We're going to get a stable duel update, both from those in the private game and those in the $35 game. So we'll wait as we let them update it, and we'll get that on. Alex is out. Unfortunately, me and Alex did not have Jeff Fafa, so we're out on our pick 5s. But that's all good. My ticket was only $9, so that's okay. I'll be interested to see the pick 5 payouts for Heroic Move. So Keith, you keep your eye on that.
Yeah, I just saw it actually, Colin.
Great.
Yeah, it was a little surprised how low it was. I mean, it was actually a little chalkier than I thought, looking back at some of the winners. So, for 20 cents on the pick 5, and that's the Heroic Move, is the will pay is actually only $84.95. But if you are able to beat that 1, I mean, you have these long shots in here that are covered in the pick 5, including this Big Bomb, the 6, and the 7 are paying 12,000 and 15,000, and a lot of ones that are like 400, 300, 400. The 3 is paying 459, and the 5 is paying 381. But everybody else is going to be a monster price. And then the dollar pick 4 will pays are very similar actually. So 72.70 for heroic move, and there's some other big prices, but obviously heroic move is taking a lot of the horizontal pay.
Yeah.
As expected, and he opens as your 2 to 5 favorite in the 75th running of the Manitoba Derby.
I think we should go and talk about every horse in this race since this is the big one. I mean, thoughts?
Sure, Dennis. You run the show.
listen. I suggest ideas.
You
say
start.
Yes and... Oh wow! I get to start this off with the heavy favorite. Okay,
give me a case for a long shot. Yeah.
Oh, long shot. Well, I like for a long shot. I like the 8 Manodura. I think was claimed for the spot because let's be honest here, Assiniboia Downs' purses are getting better, but they're not enough to try to claim a $50,000 claim yet to try to win. Just the allowance races. So I think the 8 was claimed specifically for this spot. And like we said before, I like Sheboy a little bit as well. That's not really a long shot. That's just like the wise guy horse. And the last long shot I think does have good value would be the 2 Chicago's Gray. But since you said a long shot, I threw it all out there.
Good stuff.
Who do you like, Keith, for a price?
Yeah, at a price, I didn't really have too many prices I was looking at in this race. I was kind of focused on the 1, 3, and 5. But if I had a price to actually throw in here, I'd go with this the 4 Neighbor. And just out of the races this horse came out of at looks like Fairgrounds, Oaklawn, and Churchill, and just running in good company was Kenny McPeak horse, and now claimed by Kingston, the trainer. I'm not really familiar with this trainer, but you get a jockey that's hitting that 20%. So just with the running lines, seems like kind of just closes into the race a little bit. So maybe you have the 4 at a price to kind of use underneath.
I'm looking something up on the 4 real quick, but talk as I try to find out something.
All right. Well,
it seems
lightly
like
raced with the 4 too.
Continue.
Yeah, I would just say lightly raced with the 4, but I was really, really strong on the 1, obviously, and with the 3, I was talking about that impressive maiden breaking win at Ellis, but seems pretty straightforward to me this race, just from a class perspective. The 1, just we'll bring up all the points on the 1, but thought the 4 was a little interesting underneath, and try to see if there was another one here I could use maybe underneath. It's hard to make cases for some of these horses, but did you guys have any other long shots you were looking at?
Well, I'll just throw in right now is everyone wants should have the big payout of the pick 5s of the people I see here is for El Hombre, who has the 10, which would pay $2,500, almost $2,600.
Wow. And it's 4 on the track, and
Yep, Saxon Sager.
Yep.
Put away the speed in the other 1 mile Derby trial, leading into here with a 2-length rally. Was previously behind Chicago's Gray in back-to-back Assiniboia Stakes, including the 6 furlong Golden Boy. So certainly a horse that has a shot. So best of luck to you, El Hombre. If you can get through here, you'll be paying trustees' debts tonight if that's the case.
What I wanted to look up was, and this is interesting. Now, this is very interesting. The 4, I wanted to see because the horse had workouts at Churchill Downs' training track. And I found it weird that horse had Churchill Downs training track works and then ships up to here. This horse had to be a private purchase. because the claim was for trainer Grant Forrester and owner Team Forrester. That's what the $50,000 claim was. So this had to be a private purchase for Robert Kingston and Willow Creek Farms.
Yeah, but well, he's also first time gelding too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
My price play here was actually the 2 Chicago's Gray, and that's based off of a little bit just doing this show this year on so many Monday nights. Chicago's Gray. I remember that first night we watched him. We went, "Wow, this was a really impressive performance." That was that May 23rd race where he won by 8 lengths. Moves up to the stakes at the primetime TV. Made pretty easy work of that field. Came back in the Golden Boy. Had a really nice wire-to-wire finish in there as well. Breaking from the one post, Sean. This, right?
Yeah.
He screwed me up on the past performances here. Give me 1 second. Breaking from the one rail and getting a win. So that was something that we were talking about. That's more than what it looks like on paper. Breaking from there over the course of the last few weeks here at Assiniboia Downs. Then, just really did have a disappointing performance in the Derby trial. I guess the question you can certainly ask of Chicago's Gray from performances, not necessarily from pedigree, is the distance, right? This horse has done its best running at 5 furlongs and 6 furlongs. Has actually tried a mile and a 16th and lost by 54 lengths in a maiden claimer. That was at Oaklawn, though. Obviously, probably facing some much better talent in that field there. But at a mile, didn't show much in that last race. And Saxon Saga, at least from a distance standpoint, certainly outshined Chicago's Gray. I think Chicago's Gray is certainly your speed of the speed. And that would be the big question mark, is if it can turn the tables to get the distance. The horses that have been up on top tonight have held on and done well. So, hey, at 20-1 on the morning line, I was willing to take a shot that maybe he could get back to those performances and hang on the distance, at least when I did my capping the card show. I did put a Heroic Move on top. Just on these big nights, riding with someone like Diodoro was where I decided to go. The 3, Shibiwe, was a horse that we saw a lot of interest in, especially from those up at Assiniboia Downs.
Yeah.
And I think this is a horse that...
How do you pronounce that again, Colin?
Shibiwe.
Oh, boy, Kentucky fans are going to love you. Okay. Actually, as a Cardinals fan, I love that. That's perfect. That's not how you pronounce it at all, but I love it.
What is it?
Shibwe.
Shibwe. Okay.
Yeah. But keep pronouncing it the way you was. I like that better.
Shibiwe.
Yeah,
I'll just say the 3, yeah.
Yeah. The 3 was graduated by 7 lengths in his 5th try for Pletcher on June 10th. Son of race day. And you're getting a horse that's going to be coming from off that pace. So Chicago Gray Go gets its speed up front, and maybe Shibwe, what is it? Shibwe,
right? I'm going to ask Armchair just to be 1,000% sure, since he is a great, awful Kentucky fan. So I'll see what he says.
The concern for me would be coming out of a maiden claimer, right? So big step up here, moving into the Manitoba Derby might be too big of a step up.
This one lost to Extra Anejo.
Oh, okay. Good point by you. Yeah, second and confidence game.
Yeah. And confidence game. Yeah. It ran against some good horses.
Let's see here.
Just checking the chat. Joe agreed with me. Can't see the 2 getting the distance. Maybe hold on for something like 3rd or 4th if you're a try or super factor player at that price. We've seen those prices get in the 3rd and 4th spots tonight. So definitely pay attention to that. Tom has a 20-cent super. He's going 1-5, 1-5, 3-8, 3-8.
Good luck, Tom.
Good luck.
Raphael says we're having a great show. Thank you, Raphael.
Thank you, Raphael, as always, my friend.
Tim Hughes, the other two favorites tonight have lost. Do we fade the one? At 1-2, I think you got some really attractive prices out there. That a horse like B Minor at 6-1 is something that from a value standpoint, I'd probably take a look at.
Are you concerned about the Diodoro horse earlier losing? I mean, is it going to be linked to this horse at all? I think this horse is just set up to win, but you never know. You mentioned that
one
before.
I didn't like the one earlier as much as I did this one,
Right.
And I think, I think this one's gonna have a little bit more, oomph,
Right.
than the other ones.
Yeah, the tote board. You were saying before, Sean, that sometimes the money just talks in the betting, and that previous race they were saying it was a couple of contenders, and the one took it, but this one, Heroic Move, is sitting at 2-5 right now.
He's getting the play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that mean he'll win?
5
No, but that they're showing that they have much more confidence in this one than the last one.
Definitely.
Well, one thing to pay attention to in that last horse that Diodoro had, which was an angle we talked about early in the meet at Assiniboia Downs, was horses off the layoff facing horses that had been racing, especially ones that were racing at Assiniboia Downs. You had Big Nick, who has been racing at Assiniboia Downs, versus that Great Escape, who hadn't raced since June 30th at Ellis. And that was an angle early in the meet that you could really rely on. You had some favorites that hadn't been racing getting beaten by horses who had just run in the last couple of weeks. So a little bit of a form angle there. And I don't know that you have that as much here with Heroic Move running on July 8th. Maybe you think that was just such a big effort that you can't repeat it. B Minor would be the one that you maybe have that concern with. However, remember, Sean, we mentioned earlier that B Minor's been up at Assiniboia Downs for a couple of weeks now, and has actually done a couple workouts over this track, going 5 furlongs, 103 on July 23rd, and 4 furlongs, 50 seconds on July 30th. So you can kind of look at that two different ways. One would be B Minor hasn't raced since May 6th. Obviously, maybe some concern there, or been up there and is settled in.
Yeah, and if you look at B Minor, 7th, 9th, 7th are all on the turf. You know what I mean? So it's, if you take those 3 races out, he's 1st, 4th, 4th, 3rd, 4th versus some pretty good horses. So he's been there. He's been there in the money with them. So he's been facing some pretty good horses. You take those turf races out, he's always on the board.
Yeah, and you could say that same thing about Heroic Move, of course. 2 back facing Scotland, who will be in the Travers. 1 in Vermilion, who we just saw race.
I was there for that with Hurland. So impressive.
Yep. And then somebody in the chat are bringing up something I talked about earlier. I always think back to that Springboard Mile at Remington Park when you had the shippers coming in with Asmussen and Giant Game. And, it's kind of like an automatic, this horse is going to roll. And I was on the live stream that night, and Wild Atlantic Stormy was the horse that had kind of that local angle, been racing up there, been racing well, had done some well workouts, and came in and struck at a nice price. So you've got that to think about too, is do you get the home court angle, the home court advantage, or do you go with the trainer like Diodoro, who shipped in last year in the same spot and knocked out the Exacta with Red Knobs, and actually that horse Giant Escape that we had talked about, who didn't win earlier in the card. Who else have we not talked about since Trusty put us on the spot? We have a little bit about the 8 Mano Dora, who's been running well up here. So Gallant Oak and Monstradamus, I think, give a little bit of flattery to the 8 because they both performed well tonight. Did you anybody have any interest in the 8?
I have him in my stable duel.
Oh, okay.
He picks up, and I'm going to bet him across. He picks up Antonio, which I think is definitely a plus. And this is the one that Dennis hit on this. They claimed him, I think, specifically for this race. They brought him up here for a race. Gorno's horses all get scratched. So they had to scramble and get him a race over the track. If you watched their replay last time, he's not all out and still wins. So I don't think that took out anything from him whatsoever. But got him a race over the track. I think he could be tough at 14-1.
Sean, do we have an updated standings on the private stable duel game? Is El Hombre still in first? Where are you?
Yes,
Let's get what's the skin in the game here.
I'm out. Explosive just blew me up. Exactly. But
okay.
But let me see if I can get an update here. We are through race. Yep, we're through race 6. So we just have one to go. In the private game, let's see here. In the private game, we're going to go to that right now. Let me see here. Foolish Pleasure Wins is at 295. Fresh Start is at 294. Wow, there's a battle. Z Runners is 284. Killick 265. El Hombre 250, but he's out of horses. Libation Stables 237. I dropped back to 18th. Matt has moved up to 12th, and he has both the 1 and the 10.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the other game, let me see here. I've completely dropped out. Calvin is winning the $35 game with 345. Giddy up. I'm seeing if any of our people are in the running.
Yeah, I'm 45th right now. Not using Jeff Fafa kind of hurt, but I got the 1 and the 3 here, so I kind of basically have to hit the exacta, I think, the cash.
Yeah, exactly. So we're Hot Rod's still there. Our boys there at 35. Yep. So El Hombre at 42. Yep. I'm at 75. I've gone completely the wrong way.
All right.
Look at this.
Your classic high five pool is up over $10,000. So I am going to give the ice 5 pick for once. And we're going to go ice cold 315-10-8. 315-10-8. Jessica joining us from upstate New York. She made the drive up. Good to see you, Jessica. It's Malathat's birthday. Be sure to wish Malathat a happy birthday. We have El Hombre alive to the 10 in the pick 5 for over $2,300, along with some other some other horses. A lot of people in the chat are alive to the 1 for the pick 5. DJ is also alive to the 5, as long as is Marv, who's alive to the 5 and the 8. So 1-5 will definitely make some people happy here in the pick 5. The 5's paying $381, so they would certainly prefer that. The 8's paying $1,100 for Marv, and for El Hombre, like I said, the 10 at $2,500. So we definitely have some people in the chat here that are alive to some cash, and we need to get El Hombre that 10 so he can not have to pawn his daughter's stuff tomorrow for those early races.
Yeah.
So for me tonight in the big one, the Manitoba Derby, I'm betting kind of like what Sean said. I'm betting win, place, and show on the 8. And then I'm also going to take a Exacta since it's the big race. Go all out, right? So I'm taking a Exacta 1-3-8 with the 1-2-3-8-10. And if the 1 wins, that would just that would really not make anything pay good. But yeah.
There you have it. Thank you all to everybody who's been here tonight. Over 60 viewers, basically all night long.
Thank you.
We've given away hats. We've given away love from Dennis. Dennis will be out on the streets of Louisville tomorrow selling orchids, so keep your eyes out for him. Keith will be at the Saratoga.
Thanks,
4-star David this Saturday. Say hello to him.
Yeah.
Sean, where's your next trip?
In 2 weeks, I will be at Woodbine for the King's Plate. Yeah.
There you go.
Their version of the Kentucky Derby.
El Hombre's home from the hospital.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll be a fun time at Woodbine. And I know you usually try to get there at least once a year, right? And then
I do, yeah. Always great to see all our friends up there. Yeah.
Great.
Hey, correct me by the way if I'm wrong. Is this the longest distance race for Assiniboia all year, or is
You're
that wrong?
wrong.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm wrong.
No, no,
I
no,
am
no,
glad.
no. I believe it
course
is.
it
I think it is the longest. I believe it's the longest because
Yeah,
it's the only one that uses the chute for a long.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just thought
No,
I'd ask because you never know.
the 3 is actually the only horse in the entire race that has run 9 furlongs. Do you know that? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shibue. All
I
right,
just
let's
stick
throw it
into the
up
3.
to
And they didn't take this
Assiniboia
horse
Downs.
away from Fletcher. It's just that's just a trainer while he's up here.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, this
All right,
is
good
it.
luck to all of you alive in the pick 5. Good luck to you in the stable duel tournament. This is the 75th running of the Manitoba Derby, the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, the first time that is happening. Leg 2 will be the Canadian Derby at Edmonton Century Mile on August 26th. So who wins this? We would expect to move on to that. Let's throw it up to Kurt for the call.
Rough Customer is next. Discovery Peak finds his spot. Manodura goes in. Just 2 left to load. Green Amazon. And just waiting on Saxon Saga to the outside. Neighbor fractures in the starting gate.
Oh,
Slight delay into the running
yeah.
of the Manitoba Derby.
Oh wow.
That's a
This
shame.
is gonna take a minute.
Yeah, that's the horse. One of the
Ladies
horses I
and
was
gentlemen,
mentioning.
we have a late scratch to report in this 7th race. Scratch number 4, Neighbor. Once again, a late
good.
scratch to report in this 7th race. Scratch number 4, Neighbor. If you wagered
Won't
on
you be
number
my neighbor?
4, Neighbor, there will be a complete refund. If you have number 4, Neighbor, in your pick 3s, pick 4s, or pick 5s, the favorite at post time will be substituted. Late scratch here in race 7.
That's not a bad
Scratch
switch.
the 4,
Right.
Neighbor.
This honestly, this might take a minute.
Yeah.
That
That's
didn't
a
look-
shame. Yeah, you were talking about this horse, Dennis, maybe as like a private purchase, and
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, you always feel for connections like that before a big
Oh,
race.
your heart breaks for him.
Yeah.
You're so
Yeah.
excited you get to see your horse. Big night, big. Your heart breaks for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough game. Yep.
And I hope the horse is all right and everything, obviously, but
Right.
that did not look good. Like earlier, we had a horse sacked up, and I was like, yeah, this shouldn't take too long. I think this might take long. We might be here for about 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Because I think, I don't want to say anything, so we'll just, I hope everything's good. I think the horse is not, is fine, but in a tricky spot, it looks like to me.
Joe just put that's why they gelded him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're going to move the post positions. They'll take the 4 out, move the 5 over. All of them will have to come out and move them in by 1. They are staying behind the gate down that chute.
Yeah.
But it will be a couple minutes, which will allow that classic high 5 pool to grow. So there you go. There's your update. We got 2 more minutes. And of course, after the weekend I had at Saratoga, that's the last thing I want to see in the Manitoba Derby tonight. It's been a emotional and rough week for someone that has gone to Saratoga for 25 years. To to have the calls last week, and then what happened with the horses, and then the pick 5 last night. It was hard to say that the Saratoga product has been as good as Del Mar, which usually I can confidently say in the past. But this year, I actually, for the first time, Sean, was looking forward to leaving, and I left after race 4 yesterday, which is never what you want. And now to see this now, it's just kind of such raw emotion.
To me, it looks like they got the horse out of the gate. Because I thought the horse was actually trapped a little bit underneath the stalls, and that's never good. But they did get the horse out from under the gate, so that is a good sign at least.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, they already took the number off, so yep.
Yeah, so this might not be as bad as what I first thought, but I thought at first the horse was under the stall. That gets a little tricky, and then so on and so forth. But good job by the Assiniboia Downs gate crew.
Yeah.
Not loading them in just about yet. Your one heroic move is the Diodoro horse that raced in the Iowa Derby. Currently your 2-5 favorite, obviously taking a lot of money out of that last performance, shipping up here. Keith, how are we doing in Stable Duel? You still alive?
Yeah, I mean, I just made a bold move of skipping the last race, so I have 1 and 3 here. So, with the points and everything, I'm in. I think I'm 42nd, but I'm only like 30 points behind the actual money. I think it's top 25. So, I think if 1 and 3, obviously, I would really like the 1 to win with the 3 second, but yeah, it'd be nice to actually cash in this. And this is the big one, $5,000 challenge.
Yeah.
All right, I think they're locked and loaded, or well, not locked and loaded, but loading back in. I think, right, Colin?
70% of Stable Duel has the 1.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Good luck.
Rough customers in. Here comes Manodura. Just 2 left to load. Green Amazon. And just waiting on Saxon Saga to the outside. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off in the 75th running of the Manitoba Derby. Chicago's Gray up at the start on the inside. Heroic move. Going right after the early lead. Setting himself in position with B minor. The stablemate to the outside. She-Boy up close early. Also Green Amazon, Saxon Saga, and Rough Customer. Your early trailers are going to be Discovery Peak at the back. The opening quarter, 23 and 3, and Heroic Move as that lead by a length and a quarter. She-Boy to the outside in second. Back in third, Manodura. A gap of 4 lengths back. That's Green Amazon on the rail and trying to make up ground. B minor. Another gap back to our trailers. Rough Customer and Discovery Peak. A half mile. A quick 47 and 3/3, 11 and 4.
Come on,
and
Manu.
Heroic Move.
Come on, Manu.
With the lead by
Come on, Manu.
Manodura.
Come on, Manu.
Deep in second.
Come on,
She-Boy.
Manu.
Back to
Come
third
on,
on the
Manu.
outside.
Come
They
on,
hit
Manu.
the head of the lane.
Come on,
and
Manu.
Heroic Move.
Come on,
Running
Manu.
big Manodura.
Come
Looks
on.
them in the eye.
Come
These
on.
two,
Come
a
on.
16th of a
You
mile
can
to
do
go. Manodura is going to give Henry Witt Jr. his Manitoba Derby. Second best Heroic Move. Third is going to go to She-Boy. Fourth, the Green Amazon. And fifth, the Discovery Peak.
Way to go.
Wow, that was awesome.
There you have
Love
it.
it.
Manodora, the horse that we've talked about all night. And as we've gone through the races,
Ladies
we've
and
talked
gentlemen,
about.
please hold all tickets. There's a Stewart's inquiry into the running of race 7.
I think that's based off the start where the 2 had trouble.
Yeah, the start.
Yeah, the 2 and the
they're
1.
gonna look
The
at the
1,
start.
the 1 may actually fall out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. The 1 and the 2 are really something happened. I don't know what happened there.
They might look
Maybe
also
the
around
back of
the
the
first turn.
Yeah, maybe the 2 took
Yeah, there was a
some
lot
bad
of bumping.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
I was watching the back
Yeah.
half of the field and was like, it was bumper cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a lot.
I held my
Stewart's
breath
opposed
around
to
the
number
first
8,
turn.
Manodora, as the race winner. Second goes to number 1, Heroic Move. Third to number 3, Sheboy.
Antonio
And fourth
Whitehall.
to number 9, Green Amazon.
Nice
and there's
call,
a
Sean.
photo for 5th. They went
Great
the opening
job,
quarter
Dan.
23-3.
Yeah.
A half 47-3.
Congrats to Marv, who I believe has hit the
Marv
pick 5
hit, yeah.
for $1,100.
Wow.
Did he have the 8? Wow, Marv, great job, bud.
Keen ice horse.
I don't think the 8 did anything to the 1. Yeah.
No.
No. There's no way.
No.
They're definitely looking at the start of the 2.
The
Maybe
start. The 1 and the 2
holder
did
might have.
something.
Yeah.
The 1 and the 2 were all over the track, you know?
Well,
You got to
I
see if
hope
the 2 is being held.
I hope the 1 really hit that 3 pretty tough out of that little shoot there, because that could knock my exacta really up good. But I don't think it will. I think that we're going to get the 1 to 2 favorite or 1 to 4 favorite second. But yeah, top pick winner. Sean, you also liked him. That's great handicapping, guys.
Yeah, I had him across. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, they claimed this horse for 50 grand. They brought him up. They couldn't run him, and then last week's race, you could tell the horse wasn't even trying, and he still won. You know, which means he didn't even get anything out of him. You know, they didn't take much out of him.
Yeah, you made a strong case, and there you go. You got a nice price there, 15 to 1.
I have the 8-3 exacta, so I wouldn't mind if they move the 1.
Hombre grasping his kids' toys as they trying to cash in the game.
Nice, Tim had the 8 and the 1, so you're looking
same
really
here.
good.
Yep, same here.
Wow. Oh, Sean, I might put you back in the money talk now.
I'm a little bit
Also,
too
the
far
photo
back.
show number 7, Discovery Peak, finished in 5th.
Wow, that super high 5 at the end is gonna be bombs. Look at that.
Be even bigger if the 1 wasn't in
Green
there.
Amazon and Discovery Peak getting nice pace, you know?
It's gonna be a nice super 5, yeah.
Whoa.
So I got second and third in stable duel, so there's a chance I might cash.
Nice. And that, lends back to that angle I was talking about, those horses that have been running, or this one has only run one race, but had that race under the belt up at Assiniboia Downs. So these smaller time tracks don't always expect these big ones to just kind of come in and roll. You don't know what happened with B minor. Someone in the chat said it looked like the 5 may have took some of the hard bumping on that. The race certainly changed when the 2 didn't go and didn't get the break off. That certainly changed. And there are your results. 32.80 for Manodora, folk. Nice job for those of you that bet the 8 top. Your pick 5, $1,137. Congrats to Marv in Buffalo. No, Marv Beatty. 8-1 exacta pays 30. 8-1-3 try pays 91.15.
Wow.
So good payouts for having Heroic Move in the race there.
Yeah, these
that
payouts,
is yours. And now Manodora will move on, I would think, to the second leg of the Western.
Century
Cool.
Mile. Yep.
Yep.
That's why they claimed them. Yep. So very good. Well,
And
great
you know
job,
what?
guys.
Yeah, well done.
Colin, fabulous hosting, my friend.
I want to say too, and we watch this track every week. We know this. We, as our racing fans, know this. Antonio Whitehall is such a great jockey. That was a perfect ride to get past the heavy favorite. So I just want to say that too. That was a phenomenal job by him tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, he had two really great rides earlier as well. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, good night for Whitehall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to
My boy is back.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's back just in time for the big one.
Yep.
That's right.
Right, Greg? My boy's back.
Yeah. I think we covered all our bases. We gave away some hats. You guys, good luck who are wrapping up in your stable duels. Congrats to Marv for hitting the pick 5. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already tonight. Keith, Trusty, Sean, excellent work. I think we definitely gave the viewers
Thank
some
you.
strong handicapping, some winners.
Yeah, it was fun.
And glad to see Alombre back. Everybody here. We'll be back next Monday. And stay tuned to Trust the Profits for plenty of coverage. That is our wrap up for the 75th Manitoba Derby. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.